Someone turns to Irina and tells her to take something. The girl is shocked and asks what it is. Her interlocutor replies that he brought her this trophy as a gift and asks if something is wrong. The main character, with a smile on her face, answers that everything is fine, but wonders if she can answer him honestly. The lady also understands that her life has become so hard after the reincarnations. Now she finds herself in a world full of intrigue and kidnapping, exhausted by war and infected with lust. This is a novel about the cruel and hopeless love of the Archduke of the cold northern lands, called The Secret. The main character of this novel is named Ruslan Alexeyev. He is the youngest master of sword and magic in the Empire. However, there was something else that made him different from ordinary people. This guy liked to bully Kay, who is the main character, covering it up with love. And although they looked like the perfect couple from a romantic novel, well, not everyone is destined to live long and happily. Then Duke Sordi appeared, dreaming of taking the throne and ruling the whole world. He decided to get rid of Ruslan. However, he had no magical powers or talent for fencing, so this man decided to make a contract with a demon, and for the sake of his new power, he sacrificed his own children. As a result, he turned into a huge demon and went completely mad. But Ruslan's love for Kay turned out to be stronger, so they were able to overcome all the difficulties. So the main character thinks, isn't it great? But now the girl understands that this was her thought, until she found herself in the body of Irina Sordi. Not only was she forced by her father to marry for convenience, but a terrible end would also await her. She will be put into eternal sleep by the hands of her own brother, and at least that's how it was in the novel. Now the girl apologizes, but claims that she certainly does not want to die. The young man asks if she does not like his gift. The main character realizes that she was thinking and completely forgot to answer. After which, the lady says that everything is wrong, but she thinks, who gives demon heads anyway? She regrets that such an answer will cost her life, and claims that they are simply very big. The guy then just smiles and tells the lady to extend her hand to him. Irina asks why all of a sudden, but her interlocutor tells her to do it more quickly. The main character agrees, but thinks what else he has prepared for her. Besides, at this time, he puts something blue in her hands. Irina wonders what it is. Her interlocutor replies that it is a slime, and he found it on the road. The girl is puzzled and says that this is how it is, but she understands that this is also a demon. At this time, the blonde is wondering if something is really not right with her, and the main character, with a smile on her face, replies that no, and everything is fine because she really likes it. This slime is so gentle and soft. The guy asks if this is true, after which everything turns around for him, and also says that he is glad that she liked it. Irina thanks him, and the young man heading towards the door states that now it's time for him to go. When the guy finally leaves, the main character says that he could have captured these freaks too. Well, then she lies down on the bed and realizes that she will remove these heads herself later. The girl thinks about how hard it is to live in another world, and it's good that she knows where she ended up. Irina understands that this is the main privilege of getting there, and since she knows the original plot, she can change it. So let the vile Duke go away, because she will get out of there and live happily. Well, then the main character notices that the slime in her hand just moved, and wonders if it's because of emotions. But she still claims that it seems like he calms her down, because it's so nice to touch him. And at that moment, the girl jumps up from the bed and says that it's just calm. It's painful, because why couldn't she be reborn in the body of the main character? Of course she would have to marry the main character, but she would not be in any danger anymore. Therefore, the lady thinks, what kind of bad luck is this? And screams why she was reborn in Irina's body. Well, then the girl realizes that she needs to stop envying the main character and pull herself together. Now that she is in danger, she needs to think about herself. The first point of the plan is that until she becomes an adult, everything can be turned a blind eye. She will marry the main character and then quickly file for divorce and take her share of the money, and she is also in a hurry. Then she will find herself a cute, handsome man and will live happily ever after with him. But she would like to touch Ruslan's lips at least once. But at that very moment, the slime in her hand reacts to the words, after which it all jumps out. Irina asks if he is alive, but the slime just goes under the bed. The main character wonders what happened, after which she gets off the bed and tells him to come out because she won't hurt him. The girl asks if she squeezed him too hard, but when she looks at this creature, she wonders why he turned red. Irina asks if this is really because of her words, and because of what she said about the kiss, and if that is why he was so embarrassed. The girl also extends her hand and says that she won't talk about it anymore, so he should get out. After which, the girl finally takes out this creature and says how strange it is, and also wonders if slimes are intelligent. She also wonders if he understands her, after which the creature jumps in agreement. Irina wonders if this is true, but when she is about to say something else, another lady enters the room and also says that there is a couple, so let Irina go out. But at the same moment, the lady screams where all these demons are from. And what is the girl doing on the floor? The main character replies that nothing, after which she asks if she can go out. Her interlocutor replies that the lady should hurry, and Irina understands that it looks like this girl doesn't know that she is locked there, so it's worth following her. When the lady heads down the corridor, she realizes that she certainly found out that the services are neglecting Irina, but everything turned out to be even worse. The girl also turns to the slime and says that he can't get out. But at that moment, one of the ladies says that they have arrived. When she opens the door, the girl sees her mother, but she only says that Lady Irina is late. One of the maids asks what to do since they waited for the lady for so long that they ate almost everything. Another one claims that there is still some left, so the lady need not worry. The main character thinks that they didn't even warn her that they were having lunch and that they really called her later on purpose. If the lady were a real Irina, she would be offended. But personally, their words do not hurt her. When the girl takes a spoon in her hands, then suddenly someone knocks it out. The woman claims she picked up the spoon at the wrong angle, and she teaches the girl so much, but she doesn't train at all. And how can you consider yourself a member of the Sortie family with such manners? The woman also locks the plate and says that it looks like the lady has already eaten her fill, after which she hands the food to Bella and tells her to eat it instead. But the main character claims that she didn't even have time to touch the food, and the woman replies that it seemed to her that the lady had already eaten her fill. Mary accidentally put more food than she needed, and she talks about it with her. The main character asks what she's talking about, and then wants to say that there's very little food in there. But the woman claims that lunchtime was already over, and it seems the lady had completely forgotten about it. The main character understands from this face that she has not even eaten a crumb. The woman claims that she still has things to do, and then leaves. The main character is left with another lady at this time, and is angry. The girl with red hair apologizes, and claims that she did not know that the lady had already eaten. Otherwise, she wouldn't have called her. And Rose does it all for her own good. So she asks if the girl understands that the maids must take care of the health of the masters. Irina understands that she would say a few sweet words to this girl, but then Rosa will not remain silent, so she will have to endure. But at that very moment, the slime in the lady's pocket starts to get angry, and then jumps out. It lands on the face of the main character's interlocutor, and she screams out what it is. Irina, in shock, says that this cannot be done, but at the same moment, she sees that her interlocutor has disconnected, and the slime sitting on her just smiles, after which he jumps off. Irina is shocked and wonders if he really has eyes. She also wonders if this creature really wants to be praised. And the main character, watching his actions, asks if he really says that she can trust him. At the same moment, the lady lying on the floor starts making sounds, and the main character wonders if she has already woken up. The girl also thinks what to do because she can notice the slime, and yet it is better to knock her out again. But at that moment, the lady rises from her seat and asks why she is on the floor. The main character whispers to the slime and tells him to hide behind her, and also wonders if the lady doesn't remember because she reached for the tray and fell. The lady with red hair asks if this is true, and the main character hands her a tray and says that the lady really scared her and asks if anything hurts. The girl claims that this is all strange and she needs to tidy herself up, so let Irina return to the room. When the main character does this, she realizes that it is the perfect crime. A little while later, she is in her room and says that it is good that the slime was not caught, but now she has many questions. Irina wonders if slimes can erase memory, and when she lies down, she says that probably not. After all, they are the lowest demons, and the girl wonders if he is special. The slime then makes sounds. The main character says that it seems like he understands her, and that she got some kind of too smart slime. In any case, the girl thanks him for today, and when the slime turns around, Irina asks if he can really dance. But she never ceases to be amazed by his skills. She has met completely different slimes before, and she wonders if she can find information about him in a book. To be honest, she is being kept locked up there, so she won't be able to go to the library, but she can try to sneak in there. When the girl lies back down, she says how hungry she is, because she didn't even get a bite of food. Irina also thinks what kind of bastards these are, and starving her is too much. The girl swears and claims that she doesn't even have the strength to be angry. She also turns to the slide and asks if it is hungry too. But when she looks up, she realizes that there is no one left there. A little while later, the lady smells something, and he wonders if this is mushroom soup made from champignons, as well as pasta with shrimps and tomato sauce. Slime at this time brings food on a tray and joyfully makes servants. The main character sees all this food in front of her, thinks slime is the best demon in the world. She also wishes bon appetit and starts eating. Irina says that it is so delicious that she is about to cry. Islam is her benefactor. When the girl finishes her meal, she says that she is full. The lady hugs the slime and asks where he came from, so wonderful. The creature only makes joyful sounds from this, after which it jumps out of the main character's hands. And again, he heads to the window. A little while later, he already brings desserts. Their main character looks at them in shock. She understands that this cannot be. She turns to hers and claims that they will always be friends from now on. When she starts tasting the dessert, she says that she can't even believe that she is trying such a dessert. When the lady sees that the slime is heading towards the book, she wonders what he is up to again. But he just takes a pen, and the girl wonders if he is really going to write something to her. When the slime finishes, the main character asks what he wrote there, and also whether she can see it. When the lady picks up the note, she realizes that the word friend is written there. The main character asks if he really wrote friend, and then he starts wondering if he can even write, because if so, then he's simply a genius. Irina looks at the word on the paper and realizes that everyone in this house hates her. But it looks like even she can be friends with someone. Irina, with a smile on her face, claims that she is counting on him. Well, she still says that the slime can't be there all the time because it's too dangerous. However, when she sees him hugging her finger, she wonders if he's even listening to her. If the Duke notices him, she can't even imagine what he might do. Well, after that, the slime shows something else, and the girl wonders if he is really reminding her that she can trust him. And if so, she will think as he says, but on one condition. First, he must prove that she can trust him. The lady also suggests going to the library. A little while later, the lady heads towards the building and realizes that it is so quiet there. She also turns to the slime and offers him to hide, to which he agrees. When a lady enters the library, she thinks how big it is, but looking at the employee, she realizes that he seems to be bothered by her appearance there. When a lady sees a man getting up from his chair, she wonders if he is really going to borrow her arrival. But if the Duke asks why she came there, she is going to say that she was looking for information about Ruslan's family. When the girl looks at the list of higher demons, she realizes that she doesn't think there will be anything about slides. She also looks at the history of the war with demons and understands that she most likely won't find information there either. When the main character looks at a book about the hero of the war with demons, Archduke Alexiev, she understands that this book is about her future husband. The lady flipping through the book lightly whispers under her breath that he has power and money. When the slime turns to her, the girl whispers for him to climb back and pushes him a little with her hand. Lady continues her search for books about slides and sees a dictionary of northern demons from slimes to golems. The girl realizes that this is it, and she has finally found the book. Well, when a girl looks at where she is, she thinks how she can reach the shelf. She'll probably have to ask the librarian. But when the lady turns to him and sees that he's immersed in his work, she realizes that it's useless. The girl wonders what to do, and at that moment, she hears the voice of the slime. Irina wonders if he can help, and the slime makes sounds in response. But the main character says what he's talking about. And how can such a baby help her? At the same moment, the girl thinks why he doesn't answer. And what is this gloomy atmosphere? And when he turns around, he sees a blonde guy in front of him who is interested in what the lady is doing there. The girl screams at the sight of him. The guy asks why she is so scared. And is he really that scary too? Which the lady replies that he is not. And she just wanted to learn more about the slime that he gave her, so she looked for a suitable book. The guy then claims that it looks like the lady really likes his gift. To which the main character replies that yes, and he is very nice. But she wonders since when this guy is so polite to her. At this time, the young man thinks about something and then whispers that the slime did not smell of red liquid unlike him. Irina, but she asks what he is talking about because she didn't hear, but the guy only claims that he has wanted to ask for a long time. Does the lady like demons? To which she replies that she doesn't. After which the young man asks why she threw away the diamonds he gave her. Then the young man asks why she threw away the diamonds he gave her. But the main character asks what he is talking about because she didn't see anything. The guy wonders if she didn't receive them, and the maid didn't give them to her. The main character is surprised by this and wonders if they have now decided to steal her diamonds too. But this can't be, and she can't miss such a chance. Irina wonders if the guy gave them to the maid, to which he replies that he did. And the main character, with tears in her eyes, says that it looks like she took them for herself, but nothing was given to her. The guy only looks at them and wonders how they dared to go against their master. He immediately turns around and claims that he will find them, but the main character tells her brother to wait. The young man then turns around and asks what she called him. Irina is a little scared by this and wonders if she was mistaken, and now she is about to fall into eternal sleep. The lady tries to wriggle out of it and claims that she just wanted to stop him, but the guy doesn't listen to her and asks again what she just called him. The main character replies that he was her brother. The guy then asks why she wanted to keep him away from the girl, asks if he can get her that dictionary about the demons of the north, and he is simply taller than her. The young man agrees and claims that his brother will get it for her, and of course he is so high up, so it is understandable why she needed his help. The guy also claims that if it's hard, her brother can carry the book for her, but the main character thinks that he should stop. A little while later, the young man puts down several books and asks if that's all. Irina replies that she did and thanks him. She also claims that she didn't say at that time, but she also wants to thank him for the slime. The guy asks if this is true, and then claims that next time he will catch a bigger slime, but the main character replies that it is not worth it, and she will get poisoned. The young man is a little embarrassed by this, but when he is about to say something else, at that very moment the maid enters the room and addresses Lady Irina, and also claims that she is so lazy. At that moment, the maid sees the young gentleman and greets him, but the guy turns to her furiously, and he wonders how the girl dared to enter her mistress's room without knocking, and also whether she has really gone completely mad. The young man asks if the girl really thinks that Irina is not her mistress, and the maid replies that the gentleman has misunderstood everything. Perry asks if this is true, or if she is about to say that he misheard. He also thinks that the other services are not behaving any better, so he cannot leave it like this and orders all the servants to be gathered at once. The girl apologizes and claims that it will not happen again, but the young man only asks if she is ignoring his order. The maid replies that no, and she will do everything right away, after which she runs away. At this time, the guy turns to Irina. The main character is surprised and asks what is going on. The blonde replies that he will deal with the servants and she can rest. After the guy leaves, the main character claims that she did not think that Valentine appreciates his sister so much. He even decided to gather everyone's rumors, and the lady hopes that he will take revenge on them for her. Irina also says that doing something nasty brings joy to the heart, and the slime agrees with the lady and rubs against her hand. The main character asks if the slime is also happy and claims that she thinks it won't be very good to continue calling him that, because it's the same as calling a person just a person. The lady wonders what name to give him and asks how about me, but she realizes that it is too obvious. When the lady lies down on the bed, she suggests the name Crumb because it is so soft, to which the slime only makes a sound. Irina asks if he really likes any of her ideas, and the slime waves its arms and beeps. While the main character claims that this won't work and suggests thinking about it later, but for now, you can read that book because maybe it will help you choose a name. When the main character opens it, it says right there about the strongest slime in the world. Irina is surprised and claims that it is written about him on the very first page. The girl reads that this slime occupies the lowest rank among demons, but a higher demon can become one if it uses up all its power. Some slimes are said to eat other species and mimic them completely, but this has not yet been proven. However, the lady claims that there is almost no information there. The slime makes sounds at this time and the main character strokes it and wonders what it is. The girl asks if he will share his secret, if she tells him one of hers, and she can only tell it to him. However, when the lady is about to speak, she immediately hears someone coming and telling the slime to hide. At the same moment, the main character's brother enters the room, holding the lady with red hair by the collar, and the woman screams to be let go. The guy at this time turns to Irina and asks what he should do with this thief. The woman tells the gentleman that she did nothing, but Valentine tells her to shut up because he is talking to his sister now. The woman says that he began to treat her this way precisely after her words, and his actions now are equivalent to disobeying the will of the Duke. The guy then asks if she is bothering her father too, but the woman claims that when he finds out about everything, at the same moment the young man pulls her towards him and claims that the woman does not seem to understand. After all, while the father is not around, he is the main one there and will make his decision after his sister's answer. And the guy also turns to Irina and offers to tell her whether this woman did something to her. The main character understands that she even made her daughter a princess, but she doesn't consider her a human being. This lady thought that she would get away with everything because little Irina did not have the strength to resist her. But all this is in the past, because she is no longer the Irina that Rose knew. The main character asks him if the lady is still claiming that she is innocent. After treating her so unfairly, the girl claims that she was telling the truth because she really was not given any stones. And she herself took all the gifts from her brother, and now she also wants to make her out to be a liar. The girl with tears in her eyes claims that this is too much and understands that the best defense is an attack, so the main thing is to shed a tear in time. The woman at this time thinks that this lady was usually afraid to contradict and does not understand what is wrong with her. It also understands that things are bad, and if she cannot justify herself, she will be in trouble. The maid screams that it is a lie and that the lady is trying to slander her. Therefore, the master cannot judge based on her words alone. But at that very moment, the guy slaps her. The lady with red hair screams, "What is he doing?" But the guy wonders if she is also asking because he is doing the same thing that the woman did with his sister. He will show the rest of the services on her example, so let the woman be prepared for the worst outcome. The lady with red hair screams that he will regret it. But the guy at that very moment grabs her hand and claims that he thinks she will be the only one who will feel sorry for her. Valentine also says goodbye to Irina. But then he stops and says that he remembered something else. The young man asks if the lady wants anything, and the main character with a smile on her face asks what he is talking about. After all, she will be happy with any gift from her brother. The young man smiles after this and says that it is good, and he will also find something that she will definitely like, after which he will leave. The main character smiles after this. She takes the slime out from under the bed and asks if he can smell the sweet scent of victory. She used to be afraid of him because this guy kept bringing her pieces of demons, but now her brother really helped her out. Well, if you think about it, then why did she think badly of him at all? After all, Valentine seems to value her very much. After this, the slime makes some kind of gesture, and the main character asks what it means, and also whether he really understands everything she says. The slime makes a sound in response to this, and the main character is interested, which only means that now he is ready to listen to her secret. After which, the lady claims that she actually came from another world and does not know how exactly she ended up there. Well, even though she looks like Irina, it's not her. The lady simply read a novel with a similar plot, but she couldn't even imagine that everything would turn out like this. The slime then rubs against the lady's hand, and the main character wonders if he's trying to comfort her. The girl says that he is really good, after which the baby smiles, and the main character says what a cutie he is, and she is so glad that she has him. People also claim that if she ever gets rich, she will definitely take care of him too. She also says that it's great to dream about such things, and asks if it's true. When the slime takes the lady's finger, she asks if he really wants her to continue her story, about how she got into the book, to which he agrees. The girl replies that she doesn't even know, because she doesn't want to tell this to such a little boy. At this time, Slime shows that he is already an adult, and the main character asks if he is really talking about himself now. After which he says that, okay, so be it, but let him not be scared. In fact, this world is a novel for adults, and it's filled with various obscenities. The slime at this time points at the lady and makes some kind of sound, and the main character wonders if he is asking if she has done this. When the lady hears another sound, she replies that no, and she was quiet because she was even afraid to get involved in political debates. And after she falls into eternal sleep, the main characters of the novel will meet. And from that moment, the part with the kidnapping will begin. Rosalind decides to keep Kay with him, and true love is known through suffering. At this time, Slime wonders if the lady really wants to be kidnapped, and the main character replies that of course she does. And he asks if not everyone likes it. After all, then you don't have to work because they take care of you. And you can also live in a luxurious room. Not in that one, but in the one you have now. She would like such confinement, but it cannot be done without the consent of the partner. It's important to distinguish between fantasy and reality. Well, then the main character says that it's somehow awkward to tell him such a thing. When the slime hits the lady's hand, the main character just smiles and says that it's okay, he's already old enough. After which, the main character asks if he would like to kiss the girl, just like the main character, which makes the slime embarrassed. The main character smiles and says that he blushed so much, but he says that adults put it on, but he was still a baby. After which, his girlfriend falls onto the bed, sighs, and claims that if she were the main character, she and Ruslan would be together. Slime at this time wonders if she really likes him, and the main character answers that yes, he is strong and handsome. Her interlocutor wonders if he is really that strong, and the main character replies that she thinks he can defeat any demon, after which the kid claims that he is also strong. The main character then looks at him a little surprised, and then starts laughing. Slime wonders what happened, and the main character is almost choking with laughter and tells him to wait, after which the slime is completely embarrassed and almost cries. The main characters turn to him and apologize, and also claim that she is not laughing at him. After all, he is so cool, but the slime does not really believe her words. The main character assures him that she is speaking honestly, and he is even better than Ruslan, but she will still marry him. The slime then turns to the lady and asks what it means to come out. The main character wonders if he doesn't know, because this is when two people become very close. But when the lady sees the slime's reaction, she wonders what happened to him, after which he starts running away. And then he jumps out the window. The main character looks out and asks him to wait. At that moment, one of the knights wondered what that noise was, and it seemed like someone was shouting. But another one replies that he might be hallucinating due to lack of sleep, after which another one replies that someone was definitely screaming at the tower. His interlocutor claims that it seemed to him that there was peace and quiet there. The main character at this time looks out of the window and understands that she was almost caught, but the girl does not understand where the slime went. After which she sees that he is behind the fence and thinks what to do if the guards suddenly notice him. After all, she doesn't even want to imagine this and can't look at all this. But at the same moment, the lady feels some pleasant smell and thinks what it is. When she opens her eyes, she realizes that these are the flowers that the slime brought her. Irina asks why he brought her flowers, and the creature puts his hand on hers and proposes marriage. The main character asks if he is proposing to her, to which he makes a sound. The girl replies that this is of course nice, but she will marry Archduke Ruslan Alexiev. No demon can resist the Archduke's devourment, and his charisma is simply incredible. Irina claims that she will marry the slime if he defeats Ruslan, and wonders what he will say in response to this. Slime then claims that he will win, and the main character tries not to laugh. She says that he is good, and now she will have to marry him, and the lady asks when their wedding will be. Although for now, it's worth starting with something else, and the girl claims that they've already held hands with him, which means it's time to kiss. This makes her feel embarrassed, and she seems to ask what she is talking about, after which she points to herself. The main character smiles and wonders if he will do it himself, because if so, then okay, she will close her eyes. But when a girl does this, she thinks why nothing is happening, and whether he really went out into the street again like that time. Irina is about to scream for him to wait, but at that very moment, she feels the slime kissing her, after which they start screaming ooh. The girl apologizes and claims that she did it by accident, and the slime jumps onto the floor and runs away in tears. The main character wonders if he was so embarrassed that he decided to run away, and who asked her to marry him now. After which, the lady comes closer to the bed and tells him to get out. She also says how funny he is and wonders why he asked her to marry him if he is so shy. The girl suggests that they return to this when he grows up, so that he will not be shy anymore. Meanwhile, in the dungeon of the Sorty estate, The lady with red hair says that it is cold there. She gets up and turns to Valentine Sorty, asking how he dared to leave her there. And does he really think he can get away with it? The Duke will return soon, and she only needs to be patient for a little while, because then she will take revenge on everyone who dared to cross her path. And if this girl had disappeared, then her wonderful daughter Bella would have become the heir to the family. But the woman says that it's nothing to worry about, after which she screams that she will definitely get rid of Irina. A little while later, the main character walks through the garden and says how wonderful it is there, because she hasn't been outside for so long. She is of course glad to finally go for a walk, but if it weren't for Valentine's invitation, no one would even let her in. The lady asks if the slime thinks this is too cruel, to which he agrees. At this time, the main character sees her brother and tells him not to let the slime catch his eye. The lady immediately approaches her brother and asks if he waited long. The guy replies that no, and everything is fine, and the girl asks if he really wanted some things. Valentine claims that it is important, so they should sit down, and he has a lot to tell her. Irina wonders what he was going to talk about, with such a serious look, after which the guy tells her to wait. The young man spreads out a blanket, and then says that now everything is ready, and she can sit down. Irina thanks him and then does so, and the guy claims that she has lost a lot of weight, so he prepared all this for her. The main character, looking at the luxurious basket of food, smiles and says that her brother cares about her so much. The guy offers her something to eat, because soon they won't be able to spend time so carefree because their father is returning. And it looks like he found that thing, after all. The main character wonders what he's talking about, and the guy replies that he is talking about the poison from the roots of Kalinda. Having taken it, a person does not immediately fall into eternal sleep. At first, he suffers for a long time and coughs up red liquid, getting closer and closer to the end. The main character thinks about this and realizes that it seems that Irina was poisoned by the names. The guy also claims that he thinks that sooner or later, one of them will be given this poison, and if they don't obey, their lives will end even earlier. Irina realizes that it looks like the plot is starting to develop, and she will take this poison every day. It is said that if you drink it frequently, flowers will grow on your wrists, and if you continue drinking it until it blooms, then the whole body will start to exude this poison, and eventually the person will become a walking Kalinda. The girl understands that the Duke's secret plan is clear to her, and as soon as Irina's body becomes poisonous, he will marry her off to Ruslan, because in this way, the Archduke will slowly sink into eternal sleep. For the sake of the perfect crime, he is ready to turn his daughter into a vessel for poison, and no matter how you look at it, things are bad. The girl calls her father names and wonders if he really decided that she is an easy target. Well, she knows where the antidote is, so he won't succeed. This antidote can be found in the forest around the Archduke's estate, but the Duke has no idea about it. Now the girl claims that talk about poisons does not scare her. The guy asks if she really claims that, but her look says otherwise, as if she is just waiting for the opportunity to drink the poison. Irina is shocked, thinking how he guessed, and she needs to stay calm. The girl is also interested in what her brother is talking about, and she is simply very worried. Maria wonders if this means that he imagined it, and it seems that she really has no reason to want to plunge into eternal sleep herself. But in any case, he will drink the poison. The main character screams that she must do it. However, the guy grabs her by the shoulders and asks if she hasn't understood him yet, because it plunges her into eternal sleep. Irina understands that he doesn't know yet, but she won't succumb to the influence of the poison. And she also has her own reasons for drinking it, so that this poison will be hers. The girl claims that her brother is important to the family, unlike her, who is useless. While the young man wonders if she really thinks that she should suffer for everyone, so he will drink this poison. Irina curses him in her thoughts and understands that he can't. The girl claims that he shouldn't get involved in this, because if she sacrifices herself, the problem will be solved. But the guy wonders why she is so stubborn, because he said that he would drink it himself. People understand that even if for him it is stubbornness, well, who knows what abilities she might gain if she completely neutralizes the poison. If you take it regularly, a flower with 5 petals will grow on your wrist. But if you then take the antidote, you can achieve perfect health, and all 5 senses will be sharpened to the limit. She can even learn to cleanse demonic creatures. That's why the lady can't miss the chance to become a more significant character. Valentine tells the girl to stop talking nonsense because he has already decided everything. But Irina asks if he really wants to take all the pain for himself. Valentine asks if the girl really thinks he will give her the poison. But at that very moment, someone turns to the young master and claims that he has news. So he asks if he is busy now, to which the guy replies that no, and they can go quickly. The young man also tells the girl to get up because he will take her to the room. The main character thanks him and wonders if her brother has always been like this. A little while later, the lady sits down on the bed and sighs. She says that she and her brother have quite a relationship because they argue about who will take the poison first. And the longer you live, the more problems appear. After which the girl asks if this is true. The girl turns to the slime, but when she takes Togo out of her pocket, she sees that he has turned green and screams what happened. She also says that it has some strange shape and wonders if something hurts. But the slime shakes its head in disagreement, and then talks about going into eternal sleep. The main character wonders if this is how he reacts to her decision to take poison. And the slime nods. The lady wants to calm him down and asks him not to worry, because everything will be fine. But he only starts crying. Irina understands that he is so worried, after which she turns to her husband and kisses him on the forehead. The girl claims that she can handle it, so she asks him not to worry and promises not to fall into eternal sleep just like that, so he shouldn't be sad. But at that very moment, the main character hears someone coming into her room and realizes that first she needs to hide the slime. The lady passes it under the bed. At that moment, someone bursts into the room to Irina. It turns out to be a girl with red hair who screams what the lady did to her mother. The main character understands what it means that she learned that Rose is being held in prison. Irina wonders what the lady is talking about because she doesn't remember doing anything. But her interlocutor sternly tells the girl not to mock him because, hey, they've already told her everything. The girl asks if the lady really said that they hid her things and that she simply doesn't like them, after which she screams out how it was possible to put her innocent mother in prison. Irina wonders if this girl is really talking about Rose, and the lady with red hair claims that she slandered her mother, but she will still find her weak spot. The main character says yes and wishes her luck, and also understands that she is not really into fighting with a teenager. Her interlocutor gets angry about this, and then says that she still has things to do, so they will finish later, and next time she will not let the girl go so easily. The main character asks what this is all about, and the girl replies that the Duke has already returned, and if she suddenly wants to justify herself to him, then she should hurry. Irina wonders if the Duke is already there. She also claims that she will come down soon, but wonders if Bella has forgotten anything. After all, she will have to accompany her since the girl is responsible for her, or she has already forgotten her place. The lady with red hair is embarrassed by this, after which he screams at the girl to stop talking nonsense and come out. When the main character is about to go further, she turns to the slide and thinks whether it is possible to leave it there alone. But before she returns, he needs to hide. Well, a little while later, the main character is sitting at the table with her father. She realizes that this is the first time she meets the Duke of Sorty. Well, he looks better. What was she thinking? The man at this time turns to Valentine and tells him to prepare for his imminent departure. After all, tomorrow he is going to the Crow Forest. The guy wonders if it is really so soon. And the main character understands that he just returned from the battlefield and his father is sending him there again. The Raven Forest is a god-forsaken place, and it is understandable why he wants to send Valentine there. He needs demonic artifacts and the diverting necessary for transformation into a demon. They can only be found on other demons. Irina wonders where the Emperor is looking. The blonde at this time says that it is clear, and then he gets ready. But the main character wonders why her brother listens to him, or if he is already under hypnosis. Well, they haven't reached that plot point yet. At this time, the man says that this is true, and the guy should listen to him if he wants to protect what is so dear to him. After which, the man turns to Irina and hands her some kind of bottle. He also claims that finally, she will be useful. The main character wonders if this is Kalinda's poison. The girl also understands that she cannot show her joy, but she thinks how to keep her cool now. Irina tries to look innocent and asks what it is, but her brother immediately slams his hand on the table, and he says that his father had better give it to him. The man asks how the boy dared to raise his voice at him, and it seems he raised him poorly, since the young man even dared to intervene in the conversation. After which, the man says that if he says even a word, his treasure will be destroyed. The young man apologizes and his father says that he will forgive him for his rudeness only this time. After which he opens the bottle and hands it to Irina and tells her to sing this. This will turn her into a beautiful flower. The main character takes the glass in her hands and understands that it will hurt, but it's okay. It's better to drink it all in one gulp because that's the only way she can take revenge on him. The man watches the lady at this time, and he says that she has been waiting for this for a long time, but the girl replies that this is his order. And he also asks if she can argue, after which the man sighs and says that this is true. Irina understands that she needs to drink before she changes her mind. When the lady finishes drinking, she understands that this poison tastes good. The lady also thinks what will happen now, because it seems to be already in the stomach. The father watches her with a smile, and the brother only clenches his fists. The lady with red hair at this time turns to her daughter and tells her to look carefully. After all, there is still a little bit left, and soon Bella will take the place of this little girl. A little while later, the main character returns to her room, but realizes that she does not see anything. At that moment, someone addresses Lady Sortie, and the girl wonders if it is Rosa. At this time, the woman asks if she feels well, to which the main character replies that she feels very well. But at that very moment, he starts coughing up red liquid and tells the woman to let him pass. Rose opens the door to her room, and then throws the lady and tells her to get some proper rest. The young gentleman, who is her only protector, will soon be leaving, and she hopes that the lady is ready for the next trials. After which she leaves, and the main character tells this woman not to worry, because she will survive. After which the girl decides to go to bed. But when she does so, she understands that things are bad, because she did not think that it would hurt so much, and experiencing the torment alone is worse than she could have ever imagined. At that very moment, the lady hears someone talking to her and understands what she sent them. The main character turns to him with a smile on her face and asks if he hid well, but the slime only asks if she is in a lot of pain. Irina tells him not to worry because she is fine, but she is wondering if it is true. The girl also claims that she is not feeling well, so she would rather sleep. The lady also apologizes and says that if something happens, he should definitely hide, after which the slime screams and begins to grow. A little while later, the girl opens her eyes. She puts her hand on the bed, but wonders why it is so soft. And when she fully wakes up, she realizes that she is on slime. And he thinks, what the hell this is? At this time, the slime separates from the entire mass and claims that the patient needs safety. The girl asks if he warmed her up to make her feel better, to which he replies that yes. And the main character thinks, what kind of cute kitten is this? And it's so soft and warm with him. Irina asks if he can even heal, because if so, then he really is the best. Slime asks what that means, and the girl answers that he is cool. After which she tells him with a smile on her face that it is true. After all, she has him and the lady thanks the slimes, because now she is not so lonely. A little while later, the girl is already stretching and says that she feels better. Irina understands that although the pain still remains, the main thing is that she took Kalinda's poison. The main character also thanks the slime for everything, because without him, she would have suffered alone for a long time. The girl also thinks what would have happened to her if it weren't for the slime. But the lady also wonders if the Duke will see it before she gets her power. The Duke took away or destroyed everything that Irina loved so much, and this case will not be an exception. After which, the main character turns to the slime and tells him to listen to her carefully. If something happens, let him run north, and the lady asks if he understood her. But the slime replies that he won't go because he has to protect Irina. The main character sighs after that, and she hugs the slime and also says that he is her protector, and she relies on him, after which the girl lies down on the bed and the slime covers her with a blanket. Irina thanks him, and she claims that she will wrap herself well in a blanket and let him listen to her, and in case of danger run away to the north. Slime wonders if she won't go, and the girl answers that she can't, but if he runs away, she promises that she will find him. Slime asks if she will fall into eternal sleep and if she is better off, and the girl answers that he should not worry because this pain will not harm her, because she is destined to fall into eternal sleep at the hands of her brother. Slime then claims that he will defeat him, and the main character asks if this is true. Well, she says she's afraid it won't be easy. Slime then puts his hand on hers and says that life should be valued. Irina understands that the slime is so gentle and kind, after which everyone agrees, and also claims that she understood. The lady offers to live together happily and for a long time, after which she embraces him. At this time, the lady's father asks if there is any news about the Archdukes. The servant replies that yes, and in the Grand Duchy it has been very quiet lately, and although he tracked his location, it did not help, for the Archduke has suddenly disappeared. The lady's father claims that it has only been a short time since he inherited the Grand Duchy. That's why he doesn't understand how he has the conscience to just sit in the castles. He also claims that something happened, and it doesn't matter if it's a body or a spirit. But if he has nothing to hide, then this guy wouldn't hide in the castle. After which the man asks the servant if he is sure that he is there. The man replies that yes, they recently sent their maid there. She saw the Archduke there. The man claims that it could be a trap, so he will learn more about it through the story. After which he turns to his son and states that it is now his turn. Let him say how long it will take to receive the goods, to which he replies that it will take about 2 weeks. But the man claims that he gives him a week and this antidote, and it will be up to him how he uses it. She'll have to get something useful, otherwise she'll repeat the fate of the guy's mother. The young man at this time remembers how his mother coughed up red liquid, and he asked where it hurt. The woman answered that she was fine, but at that very moment she coughed again. The guy claims that he remembered it for the rest of his life, after which he even claims that it's time for him to go and leaves slamming the door. The Duke says how stupid this puppy is because he really does look like his mother. His air is too weak, and that freak also disappeared. After which the man turns to one of the servants and says, so that he could better tell how Irina and Valentine were doing in his absence, and also start the journey with that idiot who just left. The servant informs the master that the young master may soon become a sword master. However, he is concerned about his lack of academic knowledge due to his frequent absences, and also hopes that he supports the young master. The man replies that he understands, and that stupid hunting dogs are easier to tame. He also asks to be informed further, and one of the servants agrees, and also asks to be allowed to report on Lady Irina's education. The man understands that it says that she visited the library and asks for what purpose. The teacher replies that they recently had a lesson on monsters, and perhaps that is why she was interested in them. The man asks if this means that she just wanted to know more about this topic, to which the teacher replies that yes, but the Duke understands that this is strange, because the lady was always afraid of everything and did not remember anything. And then suddenly she went to the library, so he will believe more that she succumbed to someone's influence than in this, and their everything is definitely not so simple. The Duke turns to the teacher and tells him to watch the girl more closely in the future. He also turns to Rose and tells her to lock the door to Irina's room at night. The woman smiles in response and says that she will do her best to carry out his order. A little while later, the main character wonders where Jana is and whether she is really underwater, after which the ladies see the main character. The girl treats the Archduke's wound and claims that it will sting a little. The man watches her silently, and when the lady tells him to rest, it's time for her to go. The guy immediately puts her on the bed and asks her not to leave. The lady asks what His Highness is doing and offers to let her go. But the guy replies that he doesn't want to, because if he lets go, the lady will run away again. A little while later, Irina opens her eyes and sighs heavily. She understands that everything ended at the most interesting moment. But at that very moment, the lady notices something dripping onto her hands and wonders what it is, after which she raises her head and wonders if this is a nightmare. At this time, the monsters begin to strangle the lady. Irina understands that this was definitely arranged by Duke Sorty to teach her a lesson. When the lady wants to remove the monster's hands, she realizes that her own hands are on fire, and she can't even push him away. Well, the lady understands that she needs to calm down because she can endure this, because this is a dream, and she just needs to wait until she wakes up. The girl also thinks why he is doing this to her, and it hurts and is hard for her. Even if it is a dream, she is still scared. So she asks at least someone to help her. At that moment, the lady notices some bright light, and when he turns around, he realizes that it's slime. The kid at this time jumps on the monster and wants to cut it, but he only pushes him away, and the main character turns to Lime with concern. The girl tells him to run away, because everything will be fine with her, but when the slime doesn't move, the lady asks him to come to his senses. At the same moment, the monster presses the girl even harder, and the slime rises and takes the blade in his hands again, after which he jumps on the monster, who once again simply pushes him away. The slime flies away, but decides not to give up. He crawls higher and higher on the monster, after which everything hits him in the neck, and the monster begins to dissolve. The main character watches this in shock, after which the slime falls into her hands. Irina asks if he is okay, to which he makes a sound, and the main character asks if he is in pain, or if he is injured anywhere. Slime claims that even if it hurts or he is injured, he will protect Irina. A little while later, the main character opens her eyes and realizes that it is so bright there. But when the main character gets up, she remembers something and wonders where the slime is. The baby then makes a sound, and when the girl turns to him, she sighs. And she says how good it is that he is there, because she just had a very strange dream. At that moment, the girl sees a wound on his face and realizes that it was not a dream. The girl also says what a fool he is and wonders why he didn't run away because it was very dangerous. And now, because of her, a wound has appeared on such a small body. At this time, Slide takes the lady's finger and apologizes for being small. He also apologizes for not telling her that he is so weak. The main character is silent after that, and the slime claims that he will become stronger, and the main character wonders if he really thought about it all this time, that she likes strong people like Archduke Ruslan. The girl wonders if he is really stupid, and how can he become even stronger, because now he is very strong. So let him not apologize. And in the dream, he was very cool. So the girl thanks him for his help, and also claims that such guys are definitely her type. After which, the slime becomes embarrassed, and the main character, looking at his facial expression, asks if he is okay. The girl also screams that he is really ill and asks him to come to his senses. Last night, the candle in the Duke's study went out, and the man claimed the nightmare disappeared faster than he thought. He still had time, but he just plunged into eternal sleep, and this is too much even for a low-level nightmare. The Duke claimed that it was suspicious, and the servant supported him, because even though he was of a lower level, a nightmare is a nightmare. The man claims that this is what he is talking about, because the weak girl could not get rid of him herself. Someone definitely helped her, and the man asks who could have pulled off such an audacity in his estate. After which, he turns to the butler and tells him to find out who this idiot is, and also kept track of who was visiting Irina, and then immediately dealt with him. When the butler leaves, the man understands that this is what he is talking about, because this weak girl could not get rid of him herself. Someone definitely helped her, or holy powers began to manifest, just like with her mother. In order to make a child with divine powers, he even made a priestess his wife. But in the end, everything failed. The woman gave birth to a dummy, and still expected him to consider it his son. A little while later, the lady turned to the Duke and claimed that Valentine was still young, so how could a child be sent to exterminate monsters? But the man claimed that if he had divine powers, he could already fight on the battlefield, and if she only transferred them to him properly, then everything would be fine. He also told his wife that she screams like some kind of animal, although it is all her fault. But after that, the girl screamed that he was the only beast there, after which she got hit in the face. The Duke asked if she really didn't understand anything, and even her parents' immersion in eternal sleep didn't bring her to her senses. If she wants to protect her loved ones, then let her think about her behavior. After all, no one can interfere with his plan. Now the main character tried to embroider it, or understands that it is more boring than she thought. The lady yawns, but the girl with red hair wonders what kind of lady she is. Bella says that when a lady yawns, you need to cover your mouth. The main character at this time says that she forgot to ask what the girl is doing there. Her interlocutor replies that the Duke said to follow Irina, and the main character replies that since she didn't find anything, maybe she should go to her room, but the lady with red hair replies that it's impossible, and she still has something to teach the girl because she's a lady and she should study more. The main character asks what she is like, and whether she is really that much better than her. But when the girl looks at her interlocutor's scarf, she is shocked and asks why she is so good-looking. Bella replies that the rose taught her this, and the main character, continuing to embroider, thinks which of them is the Duke's daughter. At this time, the girl once again turns to Irina and asks who she spoke to last night, because she heard some sounds. The slime under the bed is only scared by this, and the main character asks what her interlocutor is talking about. And why is he suddenly talking about this? Well, Letty asks why, then the girl's voice is shaking. And if she has something in mind, then she should stop, because she has already understood everything Irina thinks that she doesn't think so. The lady with red hair says that the girl better tell the truth, because she got caught anyway. Well, the main character asks what she is talking about because she has nothing to hide. Bella cries out that when the young master leaves the estate, it will be too late, so let her tell everything now. Irina asks if she is threatening her, but at that moment, someone enters the room, and the lady with red hair begins to stutter. Irina asks why she suddenly started stuttering, and when she turns to the door, she thinks that there is someone there. It turns out it's the lady's brother, and the guy is wondering why the girl went silent, because let her continue and say what will happen when he leaves. Bella immediately bows and replies that nothing, and that she would also rather go, after which the girl runs away and the blonde guy tells her to wait. Bella asks what is going on, and the guy tells her to make them some tea. A little while later, the main character is already taking tea and says that it has finally become calm there. She also thanks her brother, but wonders why he came. The guy replies that it was to say goodbye. After all, he is leaving tonight for the Crow Forest. The main character then turns to her brother and asks Togo to be careful, because she will be waiting for him. After which the guy smiles and agrees, and also says that he will return safe and sound. Irina understands that she is interested in whether he has become attached to her during this time, but for some reason, she even feels sorry for Valentine, so the lady wants him to return safe and sound. Well then, the main character thinks why he is still sitting here, and does he really have something to tell her? At this time, the guy points to the scarf that the girl was embroidering and asks what it is. The main character takes it in her hands and asks how she did it for her brother, because she gave it to him as a gift. The young man asks who it was for, and the main character replies that of course they're slime. The kid immediately crawls out from under the bed and asks if it is really for him, and the main character says that the slime is just in time and asks if it will fit there. The girl also tells him not to move, after which she tries on a scarf for him and says that white suits him. At this time, the lady's brother asks if she will give this scarf to him, and the main character replies that yes, and this is to show that it is hers. After which, the guy says that it's good, and he understood, and then he will go. But when the young man heads to the door, he just hits his head against it, and the main character wonders if his condition has really worsened so much. And is this really what she thinks? Because she heard that in this world, knights go to war. They give scarves for luck, and maybe he wanted to get one from her too. The girl also understands that she has something for him too, after which she tells her brother to wait a second. And when she rummages through the nightstands, she realizes that there was definitely a scarf with the swordy emblem somewhere there. After which she finds it, but realizes that a little dust has accumulated on it. The lady shakes it and then turns to her brother and tells him to take it with him. The guy wonders if this is really for him, and the main character says that she hopes he will return with him safe and sound. The young man only remains silent and embarrassed in response, and the main character asks him if he likes it too, which he replies that he will go, after which she applies the handkerchief to herself and then puts it in her pocket. People also tell her brother that she wanted to ask about something. Then he approaches him and whispers that it's about the slime. The main character asks where he got it, and the guy replies that it was on the Celtic River, and the girl wonders if it is somewhere in the vicinity of the Bart Plain. She heard that it is dangerous there because demonic gates often appear. And the lady wonders if this means that he brought it from there. The guy at this time wonders if she really wants to know from the donkey, which the lady replies that yes, she is interested, and he is definitely not like the others. After which the guy says that it's fine, and he'll find out. Irina asks how he's going to do it, and he answers that he will pierce the slime once, because there is still enough time before departure. Irina, in shock, asks what he will do and hides the slime, after which her brother says okay, and he will just watch. The girl thinks if she can trust him, but she understands that she still has classes today, so she can't take the slimes with her, and it's unknown what they'll do to him if they catch him. That's why she wanted to leave him alone in the tower, but if the maid found him, she would definitely put him into eternal sleep. And in such a situation, the girl thinks whether it is better for me to leave the lime to my brother. The girl says that if he tortures him, he will have huge problems, but the guy asks what she is talking about, after which the lady thinks and claims that then she will hate him with all her heart. The guy is shocked by this, and the main character says that if he understood, then he should extend his hand. The young man does just that. And when he takes it from the lime, the main character says that the two of them should not quarrel. She's not here yet. The guy asks what that means, and the girl replies that she's going to have a class about monsters now, and she's late, but she'll be there soon. After which, the girl leaves the two alone. Valentine understands that even though he doesn't like this slime, but since Irina is interested in him, there is nothing to be done. And today, he needs to watch him. Back to where he met him. It was the Barth Plain, where his father had sent him, and where the Celtic River flows. That's where he found this guy. At that time, he was no different from a normal slime. But now he has eyes and a mouth, which is very strange. After which, the guy leaves him and tells the slime not to even think about running away. He promised his sister to follow him until she returned, and during that hour, he would try to find out everything about him. Well then, the blonde wonders if the slime is ignoring him, and it seemed to him that he understood everything that Irina said earlier. But can a lower demon have intelligence? This is all too strange. There's also the fact that he survived in the Celtic River area, which is infested with high-level monsters. And maybe he is a telepath, because the guy doesn't see any other explanation. Although slimes can't use magic. But then the guy realizes that it doesn't matter whether he's a telepath or whether he gets eyes, a nose, or a mouth. But still next to him, Irina always smiles. And before this, she looked more like a lifeless doll. But now his sister has changed, and it seems that Lime has become a good friend to her. Now he does not see anything unusual or suspicious, so he decides to watch him some more and in the meantime, sit down somewhere. When the guy looks around the room, he realizes that it seems the problem is far from being in the slime. He wonders what the maids were so busy with that they let the room get so dirty. The guy also understands that he will have to teach them a lesson, but when he is going to clean up a bit, he suddenly sees some kind of note. When he looks at it, he realizes that it doesn't look like Irina's handwriting, and if she didn't write it, then who did, because it's written there as a proposal for marriage. At this point, the slime makes a sound and raises its hand, and the guy wonders if he really wrote this, after which he smiles, but at the same moment, the lady's brother screams out, "What the hell he is! And how could a monster write this?" But this is not even the most important thing, because what kind of marriage can we talk about? The slime makes another sound after this, but the guy squeezes the paper and says that this will never happen. After which, the kid starts to get angry, and the lady's brother calls him names Slime, then looks around to see what he can do. And when he sees many guys, he jumps on them. But Valentine immediately grabs him and asks if he was really going to throw dirt from his boot into his eyes. The guy also wonders if he's gone crazy and tells the slime to listen to him carefully. After all, she and Irina will not be able to get married, and she has already chosen a groom. Whether the lady wants this or not, she will have to marry Archduke Ruslan. After which, the guy wonders if the slime is going to put him into eternal sleep. And when he doesn't know what to answer, the guy just sighs and asks if everything is that simple. And there is simply no one who could be a good match for his sister, but a lady cannot help but get married. The guy also understands that when he inherits the title, singles will need more support. But at that very moment, the slime turns to him, and the young man wonders if he can even write. Slime is writing the words person X at this time, and the lady's brother wonders if he really means that it should be him. And also, hasn't he realized that if he wants to be an ideal husband, he has to look impressive? And not like a snot, because what kind of husband can he be? Valentine understands that at this rate he will give up, but at that very moment, the slime turns to him again, and turns into something square, and the lady's brother thinks what the hell he's doing, and is he really trying not to look soft? He also wonders if he is serious, and says that no matter how hard he tries, nothing will come of it. To marry Irina, he must be smart and wield a sword better than her, and also had to be cold to others but warm to his sister, and also needed to be able to dance as well as have etiquette. But the most important thing is to save his sister from his father, and for this, he must be incredibly strong. After which, the slime makes a confident face and makes a sound. At this time, the main character enters the room and asks if they were arguing there. Well, when she sees her brother Islam in his hands, she asks in shock why the slime became square, and what's going on there anyway? The blonde claims he was too self-confident, and ambitions are just gushing out in this demon. Irina asks what he is talking about and wonders if she managed to find out anything about his true nature. The girl also asks if it didn't work out, and her brother replies that there was too little time, so he will ask the knights after leaving. Irina asks if he is already leaving, and if they are not leaving at night, to which the guy replies that he still needs to prepare. He also tells the lady to look after the slime while he's gone, to which the girl agrees and tells him not to worry. But her brother insists that this is not something to joke about. After the young man turns around, he sighs and says that he is going and will be back soon. At this time, Irina turns to the slime and tells it to now take its original form, but it only smiles smugly. The girl then asks what to do because she was going to give it to the soft slime, after which he immediately takes his form, and the girl tries on the scarf and also tells him to stand still. When the lady ties this scarf like a cloak, the slime says that he likes it. Irina says that she is glad that he liked her and wanted to tell him something, but at that very moment she sees the slime start eating the dessert and screams that he can't. The girl immediately removes him from human food and says that he can't have that. The lady also screams for him to wait because she will help him spit it out. But when she looks at the slimes in her hands, she wonders if he is okay. And maybe there was a mistake in the monster dictionary, and it looks like she'll have to go to the library again. But at that moment, the lady looks at the slime in her hands and apologizes for shaking it too hard. The girl also asks if she should pat him on the back, but at that moment, the lady with red hair overhears her. A little while later, the girl goes to the library again, and when she takes one of the books, she reads that slimes do not have intelligence and do not know how to write, so they cannot use magic. They do not tolerate water and are sensitive to acids, so they live mainly in the mountains and on the plains, not appearing on the shores of seas and rivers. The main character thinks that they can't use magic, but it's strange because the slime definitely destroyed the nightmare with magic. The girl also turns to him and wonders if he really is a slime, and maybe it belongs to some similar species. But then the girl understands that this book is also of no use, and she needs to look for another one. But at that very moment, someone turns to Lady Sortie, and the main character wonders where this woman came from. Rose claims that you can only read once a week, but the main character replies that this week she came for the first time. The woman asks if this is true, then asks for forgiveness, and the main character says that, then she will go. But when the lady goes further, the woman follows her, and the girl thinks why she follows her. And it looks like we'll have to end it here. Rose turns to Lady Irina and says that breakfast will be served soon. They have prepared some Jamin dishes for her, so let her go and eat. Irina asks, since when has the maid been so attentive to her? But the woman asks what she is saying, and the main character thinks that usually she was angry, so she doesn't understand why she is so nervous now. And now that Valentine has left, she has no one to turn to for help in this mansion. Well, when the lady's hand falls on the pocket, the girl understands that now she is not alone, because she has slime. The main character also turns to Rose and says that this is good, so let her lead her to the dining room. A little while later, the girl has finished her meal and says that this is the best food she has had in a long time, and that she would like to have dessert too. Slime immediately jumps on the floor and heads somewhere. The main character screams that he doesn't need to leave. But when the slime is almost invisible, the girl asks why he is so agile and tells him to come back. At this time, the maid asks the lady if something really happened. Irina replies that nothing like that, and understands that she needs to go get the slime. Lady also asks him in her thoughts not to get caught. At the same moment, the slime hears someone's voice, asking what Bella is doing. Slime hides behind a box, and the other maid replies that the girl is sleeping in her room. The lady with red hair says that it is clear, and suggests not to wake the girl, because she should not know about this. The woman also asks what the other girl is doing, and the maid replies that she is still in the dining room. The lady with red hair claims that this is great, and that while Irina is not back, she should install something in her room. The woman places the object on the table and claims that she had to try hard to get this audio and video recording device. With his help, she will be able to collect the necessary evidence, and this girl is probably leading a man into her bedroom. The woman heard voices behind the door every night. The main character was talking to someone, after which he kept whispering that she had said that it was impossible. Therefore, the woman claims that she does not know how the girl has not been caught yet. But when she gets the evidence, the Duke will not leave it like that, and will throw her out of there in disgrace. The maid says that this is what one would expect from the head maid, and offers to launch this magical device. The woman picks up the paper and is about to see how to use it. While these two are trying to figure out the device, Lime jumps onto the cabinet. The maid at this point plays the sound she just said and claims that the device is working. A little while later, the woman asks if everything is okay with the recording device they installed yesterday. The maid replies that yes, but she did not notice anything unusual about the lady and would not have been standing there doing nothing. The head maid says that it is good and asks what the girl is doing now. To which the other replies that she is sitting in the library. It will take her some time to return. The lady with the red hair claims that she will take the recording devices, and I know the maid should look after her. To which she agrees, after which the woman enters the room. She examines it and understands that she is sure that this idiot brought someone there. But when the woman lifts the blanket from the bed, she thinks it's strange because she can't find a single hair, let alone traces. And all that's left is to check the recording. After which the woman removes the sound recording device from the chair and realizes that it has been hanging there until now. So now you can check everything and find out. But at the same moment, the maid sees books about demons. One of them is about the monsters of the north, and a woman thinks that maybe the lady is dating a knight from the extermination squad, and if she collects evidence, then this girl will be finished. But at that very moment, someone turns to Rose and asks what she is doing there. The woman turns to Lady Irina, and with a smile on her face asks if she is back already. Rose also claims that there was so much dust that she decided to clean up. But the main character wonders if she is really doing it, and just with her bare hands, the woman replies that she is already finished. The lady asks if this is really true, after which she says that she did a good job and can now get lost. When the woman finds herself behind the door, she gets angry and says, "What impudence!" At that very moment, another maid runs up to her and apologizes, claiming that the girl left so quickly that she didn't even have time to say a word to hers. Rose sighs and says that, okay, she took the recorder anyway, and now it's time to check it. After which they play the recording and you can hear the voice of the main character, who says that she also likes it and calls someone cutie. The woman understands that even though only the voice of this scoundrel Irina can be heard, it is enough for evidence. And fortunately, today, she needs to go to the Duke, so the girl will come to an end. Slime at this time overhears everything about the main character, telling him that it is dangerous, and offers to come to her. The girl also notices how much dust there is on the duvet cover, and wonders what the maid cleaned there. No matter how much she thought about it, it was all suspicious. In short, at this time, he turned to the lady, and then he takes something out of himself. The main character is shocked and wonders if he is really sick. Slime is no less surprised by this, after which he shakes his head in disagreement and talks about the video recording. Irina asks if this is a recording device, but she doesn't understand why he has it. Slime is talking about a bad person and revenge, and when he presses the ball, it starts playing the recording. The maid and the teacher then greet the Duke. The man tells them to begin their reports, after which one of them agrees, and states that Lady Sortie has succeeded in learning etiquette. The man replies that it seems that she has now become more like a human being, and that he will marry her off immediately after the coming-of-age ceremony. At the same moment, the head maid asks the Duke for forgiveness for blocking the way, but claims that she has an urgent report. After all, it seems to her that Lady Sortie is bringing a man into the tower. The Duke asks what she is talking about, to which the lady replies that she heard their conversations every night, so they installed a recording device in the tower, and she has strong evidence. After which the woman turns on the recording about the main character watching. All this says, what bastards they are. After all, not only are they stealing her gifts, but they are also eavesdropping. The girl screams that this is going beyond all bounds, but then she realizes that there is something else strange. Such a device requires magical knowledge, so the lady wonders how the slime could use it. The main character also turns to the slime and asks if he knows how to use magic. Well, at that very moment, the lady hears someone screaming that this can't be. It turns out to be the head maid, and she claims that she definitely heard the voice on the recording. So she wonders why there is no sound, and the man wonders if she really interrupted him seriously over such a trifle. The woman immediately bows and replies that she won't answer. The device must be broken, but if he asks the other maids, the Duke immediately asks if she can prove it, and the woman asks if it really needs to be done right now. To which the man replies that this is exactly it, and he doesn't care whether it's a knight, a monster, or some kind of worm. But he gives Rose one last chance and orders her to go and find out who this girl is bringing. The man claims that they better hurry up, after which he steps on the recording device and claims that he is not a very patient person. The main character understands that they have problems because the maid will come soon, after which she even tells the slime to come to her. The girl opens the window and throws out the device that recorded the conversation between the maid and the Duke. She realizes that she needs to get rid of the recording first and then free the slimes before the maids arrive. A little while later, the maid cries out to Lady Sortie and claims that this is his lordship's order, so let her leave the room right now. When the girl is led to the dungeon, she screams for them to leave her, and she wonders what all this is for because she can walk on her own. But at that very moment, she is thrown onto the floor in some room. And closing the doors, they tell the lady to sit quietly. When they leave, the main character turns to the slime and asks if he is okay, but he only gets angry. The girl strokes his head and asks him not to be angry, and also asks if he remembers what she told him. In case of danger, he must escape to the north, and he needs to go to the Choco Forest right now. There is a hut there that you can hide in. The slime then makes a sound with tears in its eyes, and the main character replies that today is the perfect time to escape, and asks if he will be able to find his way around on his own. When the lady sends the slime away, she says that she will be fine, so he should leave quickly. The baby looks at her for the last time and makes a sound and then jumps out of the window. Irina thinks that thank God he was able to escape, because she was in such a hurry that she forgot about the scarf, but she's still glad he wasn't caught. At that moment, the slime comes back and makes a sound. The main character is shocked and asks if it is really a slime. She also wonders how he found the recording she threw away, and the slime claims that he also brought some bread. The girl immediately takes him in her arms and rejoices, but then screams out why he came again. The lady sighs and says that if she had known that everything would turn out like this, she would have been more attentive in magic lessons. She also turns to the slime and asks if he by any chance possesses movement magic. After all, she heard that, with its help, you can move wherever you want, slime, after that, making this puzzled face. And the girl wonders if he really doesn't know anything at all, and also thinks what to do now. The lady claims that there will be problems if he is caught. The kid at this time hands the lady some bread, and she thanks him, and also claims that she will now pull herself together. At the same moment, the lady hears someone asking if Baron Folin gave the money. Another maid replies that he was not taken away, and said that this information is useless. The main character wonders if they are selling information about the Duke's family. Well, if it is true, then it would be useful to record their conversation. One of the ladies claims that last time the Baron gave her a considerable sum, but today she was unlucky, and lately she is too afraid to divulge any information to him. After all, if the Duke finds out, he will definitely put her into eternal sleep. Another maid tells her not to worry, because as long as they keep their mouths shut, no one will know about it. But one of them asks, what if someone hears them and provides evidence? The next morning, the main character turns to the slime and tells him to get up. It's time to get out of there. The girl also says that she will take the donkey and suggests going, but he wonders if they won't go together, to which the lady replies that she already said so. That she can't go yet, Slime immediately claims that he will protect her. But the lady cries out, asking him to listen to her, at least now. The lady with tears in her eyes affirms that he also wants to protect him. Slime almost cries from this, and the girl offers him to negotiate. After all, she will definitely come and take him from the hut in the Choco Forest. After which, the girl gets up and asks if the slime can open this lock. The baby immediately takes the form of a key, and the main character says, "What a clever boy he is," and also asks not to get out of the pocket, to which he agrees. The maid behind the door, in shock, turns to the lady and asks how they opened the door. The girl replies that her father ordered her to be let out so she could talk. One of the maids asks if she is talking about the Duke, and Irina replies that it is exactly so, that they should get out of the way. One of the maids claims that she will ask the head maid, but for now, the lady should not come out. But the main character wonders if she really wants to say that the maid is superior to her father. The girl replies that no, but she must check the truthfulness of the lady's words. At this time, the main character takes out a ball with a recording and claims that if it is so important, then they won't mind if she reports them to her father, after which the lady makes a recording, where one of the maids claims that last time the Baron gave her a considerable sum, but today she was unlucky. After a few more phrases, the recording ends, and the maid in shock asks how she could have recorded this conversation. The main character says that they themselves understand what will happen to them for this. And also, if they don't want consequences, then they'll have to cooperate with her. The brunette screams at the same moment. Could it be that the girl was eavesdropping on them all this time? Irina wonders if this is so important now, because with such evidence, they won't get off with a simple punishment. And also, if they don't want to end up in prison, then let them get out of the way right now. At that very moment, the maids move aside. And at that very moment, someone else approaches the lady and asks what Irina is doing. The maid at the same moment turns to Mrs. Bella, but the girl replies that the person who opened the door on the Duke's orders was her. And the girl asks if she can take Irina with her, after which the maids exchange glances. And they also say that it is good and the lady can pass. Bella asks how long the girl will stand there and offers to go. The main character agrees, but thinks, why is this girl playing along with her? Did the Duke really ask her to bring? Well, a little while later, Irina claims that this road does not lead to her father and also wonders where they are going. When her interlocutor is silent, the main character claims that she doesn't have time to hang around after her. Bella then stops and asks if the girl didn't want to let the slime go. The main character is shocked by this and wonders how she found out. But her interlocutor tells the girl not to be so surprised. After all, she found out about this not so long ago. Irina is thinking about what to do and how to justify herself. Well, at that very moment, she feels very bad, and the lady coughs up red liquid. Bella turns to her and asks what happened, and the main character replies that it's just a cough. The lady with red hair is silent at this time, but remembers how her mother addressed her. And she also said that the girl should watch carefully after this girl had entered into eternal sleep. She will take the place of the Duke's daughter, Bella, asked if Irina would really fall into eternal sleep. Looking at the girl, the lady wondered if she was taking medication. But at that moment, one of the maids whispered to the other, "Did she hear the cough of the girl at the table?" The other lady replied that yes, and this girl is not trained in etiquette at all because she does not even cover herself with her hand. And the Duke's daughter was to be Bella. Another of them asked how long it would take for Lady Sortie to fall into eternal sleep from the poison they put in the food. At this point, Bella is in shock and wonders if she really only knows what she said about the poison. The lady also understood that she needed to get to Irina quickly, after which she headed towards the girl with tea. Now the lady with red hair claims that back on the first day when Irina drank poison, she took the tea and went to her room and then saw this creature. The girl looking at it thought, is it really a slime? She also didn't understand where Irina got it, but she wondered if it wasn't a dangerous monster. At this time, the main character began to spin in her sleep, and the slime turned to her with concern. The lady with red hair thought why the girl was so calm with him, but now she claims that at first she thought he was dangerous, but Irina's calmness made her change her mind. Then she thought, what if everything she knew was not true? The main character asks in shock, doesn't Bella hate her? And the maid in shock asks what she's talking about, and she never said that she felt sympathy for her. So let the lady not be mistaken, and she does this not for her sake, but for her own. After all, she doesn't want to remain in the dark any longer, so let Irina hurry up. After all, she gives her 5 minutes for everything. The main character, with a smile on her face, claims that this will be enough. She thanks Bella and says she'll be back soon. Irina thinks how timely she is. And now she needs to find a safe place to release the slime behind the castle, where the water flows. There, the slime can safely go down the river. When the lady turns around the castle, she sees this place. The lady bends down to the water and tells the slime to go down this river. The baby turns to her worriedly, but the girl asks if he knows where the hut she spoke of is. If so, then let him wait for her there. The lady also suggests meeting again when they grow up, and claims that she didn't think that this would be her last gift. Well, when she wraps the slime in a scarf, she tells him to never lose it. At this time, the baby with tears in his eyes asks if he can stay here because he can't leave her. The main character replies that it is impossible, because then his father will definitely put him into eternal sleep. The girl also claims that they will definitely meet again, so there is no need to cry. Slime at this time claims that he will become stronger and return. But the lady claims that there is no time, and also suggests that he quickly leave, after which he goes into the water and swims away. Irina wishes him a good journey. After which, wiping away her tears, she gets up and says that she doesn't have time for this, because it's time to go back. But when the main character heads back, she doesn't see Bella anywhere and asks where she is. But at that very moment, she hears someone scream and realizes that it is definitely Bella's voice. The girl thinks that something has definitely happened to her Rose. At this time, screams that it is a misunderstanding. After all, her daughter is not guilty of anything, and she was simply used, leaving no other choice. Irina is shocked and wonders how the Duke ended up there, and the woman turns to her daughter and asks her to tell her what Irina told her. The girl then only cries and turns away. The woman turns to the Duke and claims that her daughter must be very scared, because it is obvious that the child and the knight have some kind of secret. But the Duke at the same moment turns to Rose and asks if she really thinks that this really happened, to so brazenly enter the Duke's estate and enjoy secret dates. After which he turns to Irina Sorti and asks what she will say. The girl understands that she needs to calm down, because the Duke could not have found out about the slime, and she just needs to pretend to be an idiot. Irina comes out from behind the tree and claims that she does not understand what the Duke is talking about. After all, she never met anyone secretly. Rose screams that this girl is lying, and others heard. Well, the man turns to her again and claims that since there is no evidence, he will have to punish her, after which he orders the head maid to be put in prison. When the knights approach the woman, she tells them not to touch her, and Bella screams in shock to her mother, and then turns to the Duke. I claim that she saw that Irina had a slime, and she released it into the river near the estate. The main character in shock turns to the girl and asks how she could do such a thing. But the girl only apologizes and claims that she cannot allow her mother to fall into eternal sleep. The man at this time asks if she is talking about the slime, and also orders to search every meter around the estate and put it into eternal sleep. At this time, Slime climbs onto the shore and claims that he will still go with Irina. But at that very moment, someone stands in front of him and asks if he is really the same slime that the Duke ordered to be put into eternal sleep. The knight also wonders how he dares to make him run after such an insignificant monster, after which he starts squeaking words and is about to run away. But the man asks where this bastard is going. The knight also cries out that he will have to use his abilities when he casts the circle. Then a rock falls in front of the slime, and a man heading after it with a knife smiles and claims that he simply cannot let it escape. And if he puts the slime into eternal sleep, the Duke will reward him well. Then he uses magic on his blade and throws it at the slime leaking through it. The man claims that now he looks even more insignificant, after which he lifts the handkerchief and claims that this will serve as proof of his immersion in eternal sleep. At this time, Slime makes pitiful sounds and realizes that they were supposed to meet Irina. He promised to get to the hut in the northern forest. After that, he starts using magic and teleportation, and at the same moment, he finds himself near the hut. The slime crawls towards it and in front of the door, thinks only of Irina. At this time, the lady's brother heads out with the artifact in his hands. He understands that with such magic, he will be able to get an antidote from his father, and his sister will definitely be happy to hear this news. Well, then the guy realizes that he also remembered that nasty slime. When the guy drives up to the gates of the estate, the man congratulates him on his safe return from the Crow Forest. The blonde thanks him and asks where the Baron is from, and also what he has in his hand. The man replies that he put the lime into eternal sleep on the orders of the Duke and took these clothes as proof. The blonde in shock asks what he is talking about, and the man laughs and claims that it is to prove that he has fallen into eternal sleep. At this time, the guy remembers how his sister said that this slime is so soft and she likes it. She also claimed that if Valentine tortured him, he would have huge problems. And now the guy wonders if this man really put him into an eternal sleep with lime. A little while later, the boy bursts into his sister's room and cries out to her in concerns. The girl is surprised, but tells her brother to pass by because she is so glad that he returned safe and sound. She also thanks him for keeping his promise. But Valentine turns to the girl, and he says that she needs to know something. Baron Fallen brought the handkerchief that the girl gave to that little one. As proof of his immersion into eternal sleep, Irina screams in shock that this can't be because no one knows the way. And how can we say that he is no longer alive just because of the scarf? The girl says that the slime is sure you live in this. He could not have fallen into eternal sleep. The guy replies that this is true, and this simply cannot be, because he is definitely hiding somewhere, so the lady should not cry. The main character understands that only he supported her in this lonely house, and Islam is special and can also use magic, so she asks him to be alive. 5 years later, someone claims that a debutante ball is coming soon and asks if it is true. Her interlocutor replies that it is true, and the young ladies are so beautiful. Her interlocutor claims that they say that this time the same girl from the rumors will come to the ball. And this is the youngest daughter of the Duke of Sorty. The girl was very ill, and therefore did not go out into society. But she is such a beauty, and her name is Irina Sorty. At this time, the Duke enters his daughter's room. But when the main character is about to greet him, the man is only interested in how many calendula petals are on her wrist. The lady replies that there are 4, and the man says that this is good because they are almost there. Archduke Ruslan is about to return from the demonic war, so by that time they should all be in bloom. Irina wonders if Archduke Ruslan has already closed all the magical gates and declared victory, but it should have taken much longer. The lady does not understand how this happened, and her father wonders if something really happened. The girl apologizes and claims that she felt a little tightness in her chest, which is why she made that face. After which the man clicking his tongue says that it doesn't matter. This time the debutante ball coincides with the victory ceremony in the war, and they say that he doesn't like social events, so he has no idea what he has in mind, but he understands that this is their chance. The Duke claims that he will make his move, and the lady will try to seduce him into proposing marriage to her. And besides, since she is destined to meet him on the street, he allows the lady to leave the estate. The main character understands that this is it, and he has finally allowed her to escape from this unbearable estate. The lady claims that she understood the Duke, and thinks that no matter how you look at it, Archduke Ruslan returned from the war too early. It would be problematic if the plot changed too much. But at that moment, the lady hears someone addressing her. It turns out to be Bella. The maid wonders what the girl was thinking about so much that she didn't even notice her. The girl also claims that the lady is going to the reception for the first time today and is wondering why she is not going. Irina wonders if she is imagining things, or if Bella is happier about it than she is. If you look at it that way, Bella has changed a lot compared to the original story. She even came to her that day and apologized. The girl claimed that she was very sorry because she could not allow her mother to fall into eternal sleep. But from that moment on, she vowed to always stay on her side. Now the girl asks why Irina is silent, and the main character with a smile on her face claims that, as Bella said, this is her first visit to the salon, so she will go get ready. A little while later, one of the maids whispers to another whether she has heard that the Archduke has really overdone it in this war. The other replies that yes, and his wonderful work is all in wounds. But at that very moment, one of the men makes a sound and asks why they are making so much noise in front of the Archduke's room. It turns out to be the butler, and the maids apologize at the same time. The man knocks on the master's door and claims that it is Gregory. The guy says that it is good, and he can enter. But when the butler enters the room, he claims that the wounds are still deep. He also asks why the gentleman did this, but he only smiles and claims that he had no choice. After all, it is necessary to prepare for the reception of special guests. The main character at this time is heading in a carriage. The maid hands the lady a list of the guests invited today, and the girl thanks her. She understands that in order to escape from the Duke, she needs to find an accomplice. In the original, there was one important character present at today's reception, and her name was Ellie Ela. This girl is the daughter of the Marquis, and another candidate for the role of Ruslan's wife. But Irina doesn't know if she will communicate with her, because now they are rivals. But the lady understands that she can meet her assistants only in the cafe, where she takes her close friends, so she should make friends with her. A little while later, someone turns to Mrs. Isla and says that she looks beautiful today. Another girl agrees and asks how one can be so charming. The lady with pink hair asks what they are saying, because all the ladies present there are no less charming. Someone else then turns to the lady and asks if she has heard the recent rumors, because they say that one of the guests, Mrs. Sorty, is an incredible beauty. The lady asks if this is true, and the other girl smiles awkwardly and claims that no matter how you look at it, Mrs. Isla is still prettier. Her friend replies that this is true, and besides, this is her first appointment, so it is impolite to be so late. At the same moment, the main character enters the room and apologizes for being late. She also introduces herself well. At that moment, all the ladies are shocked and understand that this lady is truly an unwritten beauty. Ellie understands that she needs to come to her senses. After all, no matter how much she loves beautiful things, this girl is her rival. The lady with pink hair greets the protagonist and states that they have been waiting for her, after which she states that since everyone is here, they can begin. Irina wonders what they will start. Her interlocutor claims that Lady Sortie doesn't know anything yet. They gather to become friends and improve their manners. But they also practice foreign languages before their debut. One of the ladies claims that she is worried that Lady Sortie will be uncomfortable and unable to learn a foreign language on her own without attending the academy games. The lady with pink hair asks why they don't do Lady Sortie a favor and start from scratch. The main character understands that they look down on her because she did not study at the academy, and this is a kindergarten, but the girl still thanks them for their attention. Ellie claims that they have been waiting for this moment for a long time, so it is time to begin, to which the ladies agree, and claim that today they will speak in the ancient language. Well, the lady with pink hair asks, weren't they going to start from the basics, and the ancient language is complicated? Another girl replies that Lady Isla was an excellent student in the linguistics department, so she shouldn't pretend that it's hard for her. The main character at this time only smiles and thinks whether she should demonstrate her skills, after which she thanks everyone in a foreign language for the courtesy shown to her. Well, she claims that of all the foreign languages, ancient is the easiest for her. The lady with pink hair claims that it is difficult to master even at the academy. So how could she do it? Irina replies that she learned it on her own while she was being treated. Along with them, there are 10 more languages, including Northern Raski and Atelian. The girl claims that this cannot be, and she screams how a lady who didn't go to the academy can know 10 languages. At that moment, Ellie covers her mouth and realizes that she blurted it out in the heat of the moment, after which she even asserts it, that he needs to go to the ladies' room for a minute and runs away. The main character at this time turns to the others and asks them to wait for her too. When the girl leaves the room, she tries to catch up with Mrs. Isla and addresses her several times. The lady with pink hair then turns around and screams, asking why the girl is chasing her. The main character replies that she wanted to talk to her alone, but her interlocutor asks what they can talk in. Irina claims that she wanted to thank Letty for the kindness shown to her, but her interlocutor asks when she did that. But without finishing her sentence, she immediately stops and asks if Mrs. Sortie is really making fun of her now. The girl replies that of course not, and that it was just her first time there and she really needed help. And also, in fact, because she never left the estate, she has no friends at all. She would really like to make friends with Lady Isla. The lady with pink hair thinks how beautiful this girl is and wonders if she will really become her first friend. The main character takes her arm and says yes. And also, if the lady doesn't mind, then they could have talked more after the reception. Ellie understands that it is hard to refuse such a beauty, but she understands that she needs to calm down because this girl is her rival. The lady with pink hair still says that it is fine, and if she wants, they can see each other after the reception. Irina thanks her and understands that things are going well, while she also claims that she doesn't know any good places to go, and if the lady doesn't mind, she couldn't choose for herself. A little while later, the main character goes into a cafe and wonders if this is Lady Isla's favorite place. The pink-haired lady replies that, yes, and few people know about it because it is located on the outskirts. But the desserts there are really delicious. She invites only close people there, and since Lady Irina expressed a desire to become friends with her, she decided to bring her to this cafe. The main character thanks the lady and claims that this part is for her. A little while later, the girl is already trying desserts, and he says that it is very tasty, because as the lady said, the desserts there are wonderful. At this time, Ellie asks if Lady Irina knows that she is her rival. Many would like to become friends with such a beautiful lady. Well, at that very moment, the girl realizes that she has gone too far again. The main character claims that, after all, she would very much like Lady Isla to be her friend. She also apologizes for disturbing her. At the same moment, one of the workers apologizes to Lady Isla, but claims that the Marquis will return soon, and she has not forgotten about dinner with him. The girl looks at her watch and asks if so much time has already passed. She also apologizes to Lady Irina and claims that she has to leave first today. The main character says that she is of course sorry, but thanks her for the fact that the lady found time for her in such a busy schedule, after which the girl with pink hair runs away and says goodbye to Irina. After she leaves, the main character understands that now it's time to meet the master of the Dark Guild. The girl approaches the waiter and asks if he could give her the menu. The guy holds it out, and the girl realizes that in the original, it was the best information guild. With her master as her assistant, she will be able to learn about Duke Sorty. But to meet the guild master, she needs to solve a problem, but she is given 1 minute to solve it. The main character understands that this is it, and asks if he will pass something on to the master. After all, she will answer this question. The blonde is in his office at this time. He slams his hand on the table and claims that this is just another piece of useless writing. The guy also wonders when the information he needs will appear. At that very moment, someone knocks on the door and tells the master that it is him. The blonde asks what happened, because he is so out of breath. But the young man claims that just one lady was able to answer that question. The guy asks what she answered, after which the guy tells about it. And she claims that she also said that the answer to this question does not depend on her, but on Mr. Halcyon. The butler also claims that he will send her back, but the blonde man tells him to bring the girl to him. The butler asks what he is talking about, and the guy repeats once again that he should bring the lady to him, to which he agrees. The blonde understands that finally a person has been found who has experienced all the charm of a happy imagination. He also begins to imagine who she is. Well, at that very moment, the door to the room opens. And when a man sees a lady, he wonders if she is the same precious daughter of the Duke of Sorty. The girl asks if he knows her. And the guy answers that of course the mysterious lady is the main target of the Information Guild, but he could not even think that she would answer this question. The main character, Valentine, suggests to talk about it later. He also approaches Helshin Sphinx and offers to make a deal with her. The guy then claims that he thought he had finally found someone he could talk to, and that he was not interested in that. The main character asks if he is not at all interested in what information she can provide. The guy replies that for the master of such a guild, it doesn't matter at all. Hey, the girl is interested. Is this really true even if the information is about his brother? The girl comes closer and claims that his name is Myron Sphinx. He is 13 years old. The special ability is to see the future, and it is passed down through the Sphinx family. At the same moment, a dagger is presented to the girl's neck, and the blondes ask how she found out about it. The girl tells him to put the knife away and asks if he is really going to hurt the Duke's daughter. But the guy only tells her to answer where she found out about it, or to plunge into eternal sleep there. The main character asks if even if she is the only one who knows where his brother is, the young man wonders why he should believe her. Irina claims that his brother was kidnapped and is now in the village of Osiria in the north. He has lost his memory and is unable to return. Therefore, he should save him as soon as possible before the slave traders find out about him. At this time, the blonde asks what she wants for this information. The girl replies that everything is very simple. After all, she wants him to give her a full report on the Duke of Sortia. Halcyon asks if all this is for such a simple deal. Well, the main character says that no matter what, she needs him to steal the Archbishop's rosary from the central shrine of the capital. At this time, one of the servants asks the master what it is. The Archduke replies that these are gifts, and the guy asks who there are so many for. The brunette asks, "Can't you see that this is all for a marriage proposal?" The butler at that very moment cries out what the gentleman just said. And isn't it necessary to first find out about the lady's tastes? To which the guy replies that he did just that. Well, the servant wonders if this is really what the gentleman is going to propose to, and if gifts shouldn't be beautiful. The brunette tells him not to worry because he has prepared something like that too. The guy asks what is beautiful, and his master replies that his body, after which his interlocutor cries out, "What does this even mean?" The Archduke just mounts his horse and says that the servant is so noisy, so he should better load the gifts into the carriage. At this time, someone approaches the Empress and claims that he has prepared a luxurious reward for the Archduke. The woman wonders if he is talking about today's victory ceremony, and the man replies that something better, and his wife understands that she can't even imagine what he's up to again. She also wonders what kind of child this is, but he understands that this gives him access to the Akashic records, a divine power passed down from generation to generation. It connects the mind with the library of knowledge that forms the world. By entering there with the soul and leaving the body in reality, one can discover all the knowledge of the world. But there is one requirement, and to receive this power, a person must be spiritually pure, and his mind must be completely empty so that he can perceive this vast knowledge. The woman understands that this is like lifelong education, and the man asserts that apparently Archduke Ruslan is ready to propose, and if he has decided to take such a step, then it means that this is true love. So as a reward, he will give him a blessing for marriage that no one can dispute. The Empress then puts down her mug and turns to His Majesty, asking what kind of true love we are talking about, and also whether he has forgotten what flows in his veins. It's beyond comprehension that a monster with a demonic red liquid could love someone. But the Emperor turns to the Empress, after which she rises from the table and suggests that they stop behaving so recklessly. Her husband claims that the Archduke is serious, and he senses it. But the woman suggests that His Majesty stop and go out, because the long-awaited ceremony in honor of the victory is beginning. At this time, people on the street are whispering among themselves, and one of them claims that she heard that the Archduke is an incredibly handsome man, and she can't even believe that she will be able to see him in real life. At the same moment, someone claims that it looks like he is about to arrive. The main character realizes that the original ceremony was not so luxurious, and she hopes that this time everything will go smoothly. At that moment, one of the beaux cries out that the main sword of the empire, His Highness, Archduke Ruslan Alexeyev Dekhed, has arrived. So let them greet the safely returned hero. The main character looking at this guy, he wonders if he is the main character of the novel People in the Crowd at this time, say how cool he is and ask if he is real. After all, he's in such great shape. Bella turns to the main character and claims that he's even more handsome than they said. Irina says that it is true, and also thinks that he is so handsome that she cannot take her eyes off him. The Emperor immediately comes out and greets Archduke Ruslan. The brunette immediately bows and greets the son of the empire. The Emperor claims that he is impressed by it, that the guy closed all the demonic gates for the sake of the empire. Ruslan replies that this is his job. The Emperor says that his words are admired, so he has prepared a reward for him, after which he calls the secretary to him, and he starts reading the list of awards. The main character wonders if he will get the Northern Ice Peninsula, as in the original. But at the same moment, the secretary reads that the Archduke will receive 10,000-year-old ginseng, found by the previous emperor, the crystalline core of a 1,000-year-old snake, and also the scales of the sea monster. The main character is shocked and thinks if this is really an award for military merits, and who would even like this? And the secretary of the guys adds that there are about 100 more medicines. The ladies at this time whisper to each other, "Is this really what the Archduke wanted? And for such merits this is not enough?" At this time, the Emperor turns to the Archduke and asks if he would like to receive anything else. The man replies that there is something, and when His Majesty asks what it is, the guy claims that he wanted the son of the empire to bless his marriage. The ladies understand that if he asks the Emperor himself about it, then he must really love this girl, and the main character is wondering what kind of wedding he is even talking about. The girl also wonders if his true love has appeared, or if he has met the main character. It seems that even the Duke is not aware of this, and the lady does not understand how this happened. At this time, the Emperor says that he knew it, and his intuition did not fail him. So he can't wait to find out the name of this lady. The man also claims that the Duke's brother blesses him in the name of the Emperor, and the main character understands that she is in complete trouble. Of course, she is sorry that he has already found his true love, because her life depends on this marriage. A little while later, the aristocrats are at a ball, and the girl realizes that the plot is different from the original story, and everything is so complicated. Ruslan suddenly asked the Emperor for a blessing, and he immediately gave it to him. Irina wonders what is going on there. Even the Duke himself didn't know about it. The man claimed that since he had a love for my girlfriend, he needed to manage it before the wedding. Irina thinks whether she really needs to seduce Ruslan. At that moment, someone announces that His Majesty, the Emperor, Her Majesty the Empress, and also His Highness Archduke Ruslan arrived. The main character looking at the Archduke, she realizes that he is much more handsome than she imagined while reading the novel, and that he has a great body. But then the lady realizes that she has the feeling that he is watching her, or she's just mistaken. But the girl thinks it doesn't look like that. The guy looks at her and smiles. Irina wonders what this grin is about, and he's looking her straight in the eyes. At the same moment, someone says that Irina is incredible today. It turns out to be Marquise Gold, and the girl asks him about what he is asking. The man replies that Duke Sorty has done him the honor of dancing with her. The main character wonders if her father really said that, and then he smiles and says that it is a great honor for her. Her interlocutor replies that it is mutual, and the girl thinks how dare this idiot Sorty force her to dance with this pervert Eagledoit. At this time, he says that the lady blossomed like a flower, and the main character awkwardly laughs and claims that she would compare him to. But when she almost says the word parasite, she corrects herself and claims that the amazing scientist of Jindriga is the third, after which this guy offers her to dance, and the brunette watches all this, after which he tells His Majesty that he needs to step away for a minute. The emperor asks where he is in such a hurry, and the guy replies that he wants to dance, and the man says what a surprise that is. He also asks what lady caused him to have such a sudden desire to dance, to which the guy replies that he will find out soon. Irina wonders if she should step on this guy's foot and pretend that she can't dance. But at that very moment, someone puts a hand on his shoulder and claims that this lady is already with him. Therefore, the guy had better leave, and quickly. After which, the brunette asks for forgiveness from Lady Irina, and also wonders if she would do him the honor of dancing. The main character wonders if he really asked her to dance, and if it is really Duke Ruslan. The girl claims that this part is for her, and wonders if it is really him who wants to marry her. But then the ladies claim that this is their first meeting, and how can there be a wedding? It's some kind of nonsense. Well, at least it's better to dance with such a handsome man than with that old ugly man. In the novel, it was said that Ruslan doesn't know how to dance, but dancing with him now, you can say that he put a lot of effort into it. And it's even a bit strange the guy at this time turns to Irina Sorty and claims that he can give her what she wants. The main character asks if this is true, and does he really know her thoughts, to which the guy replies that yes, and she also wants to be kidnapped. But the guy doesn't have time to finish his sentence before someone sneezes. When he is about to finish it, the butler starts coughing loudly and claims that he feels really bad. The main character claims that his assistant looks sick and wonders if everything will be okay if they leave. But the guy tells her not to pay attention, and he asks if the lady will come out onto the terrace with him for a little while when this dance is over. The main character asks why, and the guy approaching her claims that he has a gift for her. Irina asks if this is really for her, but at that moment she hears that the music has ended. The brunette bows to the lady and says that they will see each other on the terrace, and the girl wonders if he really said that he has a gift for her. She can't even imagine what it could be. When a lady goes out on the street, she sees a brunette standing in the middle of a lilac. When the main character comes closer, the guy asks if she likes this flower. The girl thinks and realizes that she likes lilacs because the slime always brought them. The lady also asks how he found out about this, and the guy is silent for a while, after which he claims that he also likes lilacs. Irina thinks that he scared her, and why did it seem so much like a confession? The girl thanks him for the dance and flowers, but wonders why the Archduke is so kind to her. The guy awkwardly asks if there needs to be a reason for this, and the girl replies that he himself said that he already has a lover. Irina wonders if he found out that the Duke was bullying her and decided to appease her so that she would start working for him. The main character tells His Highness the Archduke that if he needs her help, he doesn't have to try so hard. After all, she will be happy to cooperate with him. The guy claims that he is glad to hear this, and there is something he would like to do with the lady, as she wanted. But when the guy is about to tell about the kidnapping, the butler bursts onto the balcony and screams that it is impossible. The Archduke asks what he's talking about, and the guy just greets the lady and claims that his name is Vasily Muten. He's not only the Archduke's assistant, but also a handsome guy. The guy also apologizes, but claims that he has urgent business, and Mr. Young would be very grateful if the lady would leave them for a while. After which, the main character agrees and is immediately shown the door. Irina thinks that it is a pity, of course, that it was not possible to listen to Ruslan to the end. At this time, the butler asks the gentleman what he is thinking about and continues to talk about the kidnapping and captivity. And the guy replies that he is talking about the wedding, but the servant cries out, "Is His Highness really serious? And shouldn't everything proceed gradually? Because if the Duke finds out about this, then war cannot be avoided, and he knows what kind of person he is. The guy claims that this is why he wanted to kidnap her at first, but the butler constantly prevents him from doing so. He also asks if it is really necessary to start the weddings after all. The servant once again asks what is wrong with the master, but he replies that he will propose to her tomorrow. The butler is shocked by this, and then he collapses completely, and also tells His Highness to put him into eternal sleep. The brunette asks why he should do this, and the servant replies that if he really is going to propose to her, it would be better to put him into eternal sleep. But His Highness replies that he will not go back on his words. The guy thinks how stubborn he is, and that he cannot allow the gentleman to propose to her tomorrow. The butler claims that he does not think that the father's lady is not developing events so quickly. His master asks if this is really so, and the servant replies that this is exactly it, and whispers to the master whether it seems so. What is the point of proposing when they haven't really communicated yet? It's stupid because there's no romance there at all. The brunette wonders what the best thing to do is then, and the servant wonders if he really succeeded. His master claims that he trained a lot because she said that she liked a man with a good body, and now he is afraid of being refused. The butler then turns to the gentleman and understands that he has never behaved like that. He also asks what else the lady likes, but the brunette asks how many times he has to repeat it because she likes kidnapping. The servant immediately screams for the master to stop, and he answers that he understands. The servant claims that, first of all, it is worth finding out what the lady likes, and let him remember that the proposal is not the first item on the list. At this time, someone approaches Mrs. Arena and asks if she would grant him the honor of dancing with her. The main character asks with a smile on her face what to do, because unfortunately, she is very dizzy, but she is cursing in her thoughts and wondering if her father has really sent him another one. The lady asks for forgiveness again, and her interlocutor replies that it's nothing to worry about. Irina understands that it is also difficult to refuse constantly, and if she stays there, she will only interfere, so it is better to go out into the corridor. When the main character does this, someone approaches her and greets her. The girl immediately turns around and wonders who this is, but the guy takes off his mask and asks why such surprise, because he even feels offended. Irina asks what he was hoping for when he came up to her so unexpectedly, and the guy replies that he thought she would react differently. At this time, the main character is wondering if he found his brother in the place she spoke about. The blonde replies that yes, and they took him away from there, safe and sound, so he thanks the lady. He also hands over the rosary she was looking for, and the protagonist thanks him. The guy wonders what she will do with him, and whether she has really decided to get involved in religion. But at that very moment, the lady rips up this rose garden, and the guy is shocked. He says that it is really impressive. The main character claims that she didn't need the rose garden, but the lapis lazuli from it. Archduke Ruslan was always obsessed with fighting demons to prevent them from breaking free. To do this, he needed a sacred object that could cleanse the spirit, namely lapis lazuli, which is a stone that with its golden light indicates that it needs to be cleansed. The girl understands that the Duke already has a similar half, but now she has a whole one, and with his help, even without a wedding, she will be able to make a deal with the Archduke to find an antidote to Kalinda's poison in the Forest of the Dead. At this time, the blonde says that he doesn't know why he feels sorry, and that he is needed, but he hopes that everything will work out and asks if she doesn't need anything else. Irina replies that there is something, and asks to find out about the location of Islam in the north. Was there someone like that with a scar under his eye? Because she also has a friend she would like to save. A little while later, the brunette is already sitting opposite the main character, and she is wondering why he came to her. First, he invited her to dance, and now he shows up at her house, and it seems he wants to please the main gossips of high society. At this time, the Archduke says that they haven't seen each other for a long time, and the main characters note that such a thing exists. The lady wonders if they didn't see each other yesterday, but in any case, she has an important conversation to tell him. So for her, even as an improvement, the lady turns to the Archduke and also offers to talk about the cooperation he spoke about yesterday. She thinks he did, but at that very moment, the maids enter the room and claim that they have brought tea. They bring it to the table, then stand near the wall and begin to whisper. The main character realizes that it seems the Duke ordered them to monitor what is happening. She needs to talk to Ruslan about the infirmary to make a deal, and she didn't know they could brew tea so quickly. Therefore, the lady only offers to drink it before it gets cold. The girl also apologizes for such a meager table and claims that if the Archduke had told her about her arrival in advance, she would have treated him to something better. The guy replies that it's not a big deal because he came without warning, and that's enough for him. Irina thanks him for his words, but thinks how awkward she feels and what she can even talk to him about. The girl wonders if she should try to seduce him and is told that she needs to somehow touch his neck to attract the attention of the opposite sex, or to the ear, after which gently remove the hair. The guy at this time notices the lady's movement, and then he asks her if she is uncomfortable, to which the girl replies that she is not at all. Irina thinks that if only she could seduce someone because she and the man only had 2D. The girl asks the Archduke if he liked the tea, to which he replies that it did. He doesn't really understand it, but the aroma is pleasant. Irina, with a smile on her face, claims that she is glad to hear it. After all, they were served their favorite tea. Ruslan, looking at the lady, only becomes embarrassed, after which he thanks her completely. The main character thinks that she doesn't know what happened, but his ears are cutely red. At the same moment, the lady begins to feel bad when she notices the brunette's gaze on her. Then she understands that she didn't drink the antidote for viburnum today, and that's very bad. The Archduke must not notice this, because if he finds out that she is ill, he will never marry her. At this time, the guy asks how the lady feels, and he heard that she used to be in poor health. Irina smiles and claims that everything is not so, because before she had a weak body, but now she eats well and is very healthy. The guy immediately gets up from his seat and claims that this cannot go on any longer, and he must take the lady north immediately. Irina asks what he means, and the guy replies that he doesn't think it's worth telling her about it now, but he asks her to go to the Archduchy as soon as possible. The girl does not understand what he is talking about, but then claims that if he invites her to his estate, she will come with pleasure. After all, she had long wanted to visit the north, but the guy claims that this is not what he had in mind. And now he proposes to her. The guy turns to Lady Irina Sordi, and he also tells her to marry him. The girl wonders if she has just received a proposal of marriage, and also whether Ruslan wants to marry her. The marriage she had been trying to achieve for so long has finally happened, and she will be able to escape the estate. The main character also agrees with the Archduke and proposes marriage. The guy, with a smile on his face, says that he is glad that the lady has agreed. He kisses her hand and states that he will immediately order his assistant to go north to announce their marriage. A little while later, one of the knights asks what this means and whether the Archduke has decided to marry the daughter of Duke Saridia. His interlocutor replies that yes, but their ancient kinship is their enemy. Therefore, it seems that the world has gone mad. At that very moment, someone shouts out to Vasily and asks what he just said. This woman asks whether Archduke Ruslan and the daughter of Duke Soredia, with whom they have been feuding for many years, are planning to get married. The guy claims that, for the information of Lady Hope, His Highness insisted on this marriage, and the woman wonders if this means that he can no longer be persuaded. She also asks what she should do since she is so looking forward to this wedding. The Duke at this time turns to Irina and claims that he heard this boy propose to her. The girl replies that everything is correct, and all thanks to her father. The lady also understands that in a little while, she will no longer have to see this face. The Duke at this time turns to the maid and tells her to bring the document he left. He also tells the girl to sign before the Archduke changes his mind about agreeing to something. The lady puts her signature under his, and when she looks at Ruslan's signature, she realizes that for some reason, she thought he had bad handwriting, but in fact, everything is not so. And this guy is full of surprises, and despite his indifferent appearance, he is very nice. The man claims that they will simplify the wedding with a premarital mass in church, which will be held in a week. But the main character wants to say that she will not have enough time to prepare. However, the man interrupts her mid-sentence and asks if she really meant to say that she doesn't have enough time. The main character replies that everything is wrong, and there is not enough time, and the man suggests that she not forget about the flower on her wrist, and also remember that she must plunge Ruslan into eternal sleep, to which the girl agrees and claims that she knows. After all, this is what her father raised her for. However, the girl thinks that her goal is to surround the eternal sleep of the Duke and not Ruslan. A little while later, someone turns to the main character and asks if everything will be okay with hers. Bella claims that despite his appearance, marrying such a man is a little scary, and there are rumors that he is a real monster. And they also say that in this war the demons were destroyed too quickly. Irina replies that she heard about it, but it's just rumors. The lady understands that it doesn't matter to her what kind of person this guy is, because she just wants to escape from there as soon as possible, and no one has canceled the divorce. The lady with red hair turns to Irina and claims that the Duke said that he would send her with her. He ordered her to watch the girl drink the poison, and she apologizes for not being able to help her. The main character tells Bella that everything is fine because anyone will notice if she stops singing it, and it could cause her a lot of trouble, which she wouldn't want. Irina also tells Bella not to worry because she will never have to regret anything again. A little while later, the Empress turns to the Archduke and states that the day has come when she can officially congratulate him on his wedding. After all, this is a special event, and she could not even imagine what would happen after the victory in the war. Ruslan will also want to marry the daughter of the Duke of Sorty. The guy says that it is good that Her Majesty already knows about this. The woman is silent for a while after this, and then claims that he can put demons into eternal sleep and conquer continents. Well, there is one thing that cannot be destroyed, and she thinks he understands what she means. The young man asks if she means the demonic red liquid that flows through his veins. The woman replies that this is true, because this is his only flaw, and the guy's ancestors protected the imperial family for many generations. These were people with a demonic red liquid, and he thinks that the guy knows that this curse fell on their family because of one person's mistake. Possessed by a humanoid demon, he gave birth to a child, and she knows that if their family does not see the red liquid for a long time, they go crazy. Well, the guy claims that in the end, they don't even live to be 40 years old because these demonic forces put them into eternal sleep, and they bury their bodies in the forest where all the previous archdukes ended their lives with their own hands when they felt their death approaching. And only the Archduke and the imperial family know about this, but the guy asks why she mentioned this. The woman suggests getting down to business, because if he decides to use this marriage to strengthen his power and side with the Duke, the imperial family will never spare him. The guy then tries to hold back his laughter and wonders if she is talking about a conspiracy with the Duke of Sorties, after which he seriously claims that he is not going to shake his hands, but to cut them off. And his goal is to plunge the Duke of Sorty into eternal sleep so that Her Majesty does not worry and celebrates heartily. The woman claims that she will remember his words and the guy can go. He says that with her permission, he deviates and then turns around. The Empress understands that the Archduke's eyes show that he is serious. At this time, people on the street are gossiping, and one of them claims that he is surprised by such a sudden announcement about the wedding. His interlocutor replies that yes, the Duke must be very sad, because he will still have to part with his daughter. Although with such a handsome and stately groom, everything will be fine. Someone else claims that this is true, and in dress uniform, he is even more handsome, and he is even interested in how beautiful Lady Sorty will be. A little while later, the main character's carriage arrives, and the girl addresses the Archduke, and she also asks if he really came to meet her, because if so, then she is so happy. The guy is embarrassed by this, and the main character turns to the Archduke once again. He says that nothing, but at the same moment, Irina's father turns to her and claims that everyone is already waiting, so it's time to go in, to which the lady agrees. And the brunette claims that they will see each other inside. A little while later, the man is already sitting in the church. The priest turns to the lady and asks if she is ready to, which the girl replies that she is, and also asks the priest to take care of them. The priest claims that at the Duke's request, today's ceremony will be simplified, and says that they should confess their love to each other, and also sign wedding vows. But at that very moment, someone bursts into the church and screams for Irina to wait. It turns out that this is the main character's brother, and the girl asks if he shouldn't be at war. The guy replies that he heard the news about her wedding, and so he hurried home. But he can't believe that the lady is getting married in his absence. He also wants to shout something about this marriage, but his father turns to him. He asks if the guy really ended the war so quickly to attend his younger sister's wedding, and he says how happy this day is for Irina, so let the young man sit next to him. The priest at this time proposes to begin the wedding ceremony and claims that it is in this sacred place in the sight of God. Two people want to swear that despite the hardships, they will go through all the difficulties together, and they will remain faithful to each other. He also asks if the groom swears before God to protect and love his bride for life, to which he replies that he swears, and the priest asks whether the bride swears before God to protect and love her groom all her life. Irina understands that now she is in a wedding dress making an oath before God, and it is all so exciting. She replies that she swears and thinks that they are truly in love. The man at this time says that they should sign a marriage contract. The main character does just that and understands that from this moment on, she needs to be on her guard, for now her long-awaited revenge begins. The priest solemnly proclaims them husband and wife. A little while later, Irina's brother claims that since their father has left, he should at least talk to the Archduke. The brunette says that his brother-in-law can speak to him as he pleases, but the lady's brother gets angry and asks what he just called him. Valentine understands that this guy just got married and already calls him brother-in-law. And what kind of a sly fox is he? The blonde claims that he still managed to restrain himself in front of his father. He had never seen a nobleman get married so quickly in his life. He also cries out that this is, of course, if the Duke did not threaten his innocent sister. The main character replies that everything is not so, and the brunette claims that they are simply right for each other. But Valentine cries out, is he really doing it again, and tells the guy not to call him that, because he is younger than him. The Archduke replies that he and Irina are already married, and asks if that is not logical, while the young man asks if this is really true, and also suggests that they simply get a divorce. The main character watching these two understands that they are about to tear each other apart, after which she says that her brother is like this because he loves her too much, and also takes him by the hand and offers to go outside for a minute. When the girl takes her brother outside, she asks what's the matter, and whether he didn't come to congratulate her. But the guy replies that he won't do anything, and asks if the girl doesn't know what kind of person the Archduke is. He thought that the girl was being forced into marriage, so he came to help her escape. Well, this idiot also said that they are suitable for each other. The main character tries to calm her brother down, but he claims that the girl should date a man similar to him's. He also does not understand how such an innocent girl can live with such a demon, and the main character thinks how her brother is different from him. She also tells her brother not to worry, and asks if he will come to save her if something happens. The guy replies that of course, and asks if the lady really thinks that he will leave her alone. He also hands over a map claiming he made it in case he couldn't stop her wedding. He has marked secret passages around the Archduchy. If suddenly the lady feels danger, then let her run as fast as she can, and he will definitely take her away. Irina realizes that she is even a little touched, after which she thanks her brother. He says, as for her request for the slime's location, the main character wonders if he really found the slime. The guy claims that a soldier patrolling the area told him that he saw an unusual slime, and he looked like her boyfriend. The main character then asks her brother to tell her more details. The guy claims it was a big blue slime, and the soldier said it had wounds on its body. Instead of red liquid, a liquid similar to water flowed out of it, but the main feature is the scar under the eye. Irina understands that the slime also had it, and wonders if they really started hunting him. The guy nods and claims that then the forest suddenly caught fire, so they had to retreat. The main character asks how it happened, and the guy replies that they also did not understand what caused it. But he has the feeling that someone deliberately caused the fire with the help of magic. Irina asks, what about the slime, and how could he not have escaped with such wounds? The guy claims that given the speed of the flames, his chances of survival are slim, but he was heading towards the Archduke's estate. The main character, shocked, asks where he was heading, and she claims that she told him to run north. But her brother says that maybe he was instinctively looking for a place to fall into eternal sleep, or he considered the Archduchy a better haven than the north. Valentine turns to Irina and claims that he understands how much she worries about the layers of Ka, and also apologizes for such news. But the main character asks him not to apologize, and claims that she may seem stupid, but she still believes that the slime is alive and well. The girl understands that he is special and could have survived the fire. At least that's what she wants to believe. The blonde claims he was an unusual guy, so maybe he survived. He also asks if she will continue searching for him, and the main character replies that if she doesn't answer, that's enough, Irina understands that Halcyon is also looking for him, and maybe he will give her better news. The guy says that it's good, and he understood her, and also that he will find her some smarter slimes, after which the girl just smiles and tells him to stop, and also thanks him because her brother didn't forget about her request. The guy then asks if she thanks him, and she claims that the lady sees that men like her brother are the best. He also asks what about a reward for him, and the main character thinks and realizes that she has something. Since she won't need this thing anymore, she will give it to Valentine. The main character hands this thing to her brother, and he asks what it is. Irina replies that this is his reward, and understands that the brainwashing from Duke Sortie is very powerful, so this thing can help a little. Valentine asks what she is doing, and the main character replies that it is a very expensive thing, and she kept it all her life, after which the guy claims that he promises to keep it safe until he falls into eternal sleep. Valentine also claims that he has something he would like to give her. True, this still needs to be found. The guy promises that he will get her an antidote, but the main character tells her brother that everything is fine, and she also won't fall into eternal sleep so easily, and adds in her thoughts that it's because she already knows where it is. After this, the young man sighs heavily and says that both then and now his little sister is so naive, and also how hard it will be for her to be married to the demon of war. The main character asks her brother to stop because she has already married him and wonders how long he will resist. The young man then says that it's fine, but if the sister wants to get a divorce, then she should just tell him, and the brother will decide everything. Irina smiles and says that she will definitely tell him about it. A little while later, they return to the church. Ruslan asks if they've finished yet, and the main character replies that they have, and thanks him for waiting. Ruslan says that it's okay, and he's not against them hanging out with his brother-in-law. The guy also approaches Irina and claims that they are now a real married couple. The main character asks if he talks about her as his wife, and the guy replies that he does. And he also asks if it wouldn't be more correct to call her that since they are already married. The brunette asks if he made a mistake in something, and the main character replies that he doesn't answer. It's just a little embarrassing. After which, the young man smiles and claims that he never intended to be a husband in words alone. It is important for him to fulfill his marital duties properly, so the wife can count on him. The main character is a little embarrassed by this and wonders if he is talking about marital duty. Valentine immediately cries out, "Is it really possible to allow oneself such conversations in a sacred place?" He also takes his sister by the hand and states that when Irina is ready to go north, he will send a messenger, and now they will go. When the two leave, the brunette only puts his hand on his heart, which is beating very quickly, and he realizes that they are finally married. A little while later, the lady tells the Archduke to wait, while the guy is just wondering if the lady is afraid of him and answers that she is not. And it's just her first time, and she's also completely inexperienced in this. The guy replies that there's no need to worry about such trifles. After all, he will take care of everything, so let the lady not worry, because as he said, he wants to be her husband, not only on paper. He wants to live up to his wife's expectations as much as possible. Irina asks what he's talking about, after which the guy approaches her, and the main character puts her hand on his chest. But at the same moment, she thinks why she is so soft. And at the same moment, the lady sees a slime in front of her. At that very moment, the girl wakes up and screams, "What kind of strange dream is this?" And why exactly at that moment did the slime appear? The girl understands that it was such an exciting scene. And after the wedding ceremony, she dreams such dreams every night, although she does not mind. A little while later, the maids run in more successfully, and one of them claims that they must finish everything before the Archduke passes. One of them asks where the new bed linen is, and the other replies that Marie will bring it now. But the maid claims that the new carpet has not yet been delivered and asks what to do. Her interlocutor replies that she will check now, and if the blanket arrives, let them shoot it. The magicians in the castle are also restoring order, and one of the servants claims that the mansion has not been so crowded for a long time. The woman replies that this is true, because the Duke even asked the magicians to cast a warm spell on all the walls of the mansion for the lady. This had not happened since her time in service to Archduchess Olga, and now the mansion was somehow hot. But the butler says that she doesn't seem to like these changes, after which the woman remains silent for a while. And then she claims that at first, She was pleased with the arrival of the lady, and that the gentleman had spent so much time and health on these wars. And then he decided to get married, and it made her happy and also reminded her of his parents. Well, she still doesn't understand why it should be the daughter of the Duke of Sordia. You wouldn't want to see something like this even in your worst nightmare, and if the guy's ancestors were alive, they would be furious. But the butler claims that he understands her concerns. But what's done is done. And besides, the Duke is not the kind of person who does something thoughtlessly, and he definitely has a plan, so they should stay on his side. He just hopes that everything will work out for him. But the woman says how annoying it all is and claims that she will go on with her business. At this time, another maid was watching them, after which she went to Mrs. Nadezhda. The woman asked what the girl wanted since she was busy. Now Maria replied that she had news, and inside the mansion it is now warm. Because the wizards are casting a temperature spell, the Archduke ordered this to be done for the arrival of the lady. The woman asks what all this is for, and Maria replies that they say the lady is in poor health, after which the lady sighs and says that the mansion is her territory, and her brother didn't even ask her. Maria asks if she should be ordered to stop this, and the lady replies that no, and that she should just forget about it. The woman claims that they are turning the northern mansion into a greenhouse, and asks if it is not fun. She also understands that when she found out that this guy was marrying the daughter of the Duke of Sordi, she thought that it was a marriage of convenience. And what's more, he even started spending the budget that was until the end of the year, although he hadn't even touched it before. So the lady doesn't understand what he's even thinking about. She doesn't like it at all, because what she worked so hard on is now falling apart. The woman also turns to Maria and tells her to observe the situation and report to her about everything the girl agrees to. The lady with black hair understands that she will not give the mansion to Irina Sordia. No way, the main character is heading in a carriage at this time, and someone announces that they will soon arrive at the Archduchy. The main character looks out the window and realizes that she sees Ruslan's mansion. A little while later, she gets out of the carriage and addresses the Archduke. Well, the guy then greets her and congratulates her on her arrival to the north. He also says that the lady has come such a long way, and the main character thanks him for waiting. She also points to Bella, not stating that she will stay there with her, the lady with red hair bows, and states that she will gladly serve. The main character after that is shivering, and claims that it is much colder in the north than she expected. The brunette claims that since the lady has a weak body, the cold will be felt many times stronger. He also takes the girl's hand and says that she is so cold. The guy claims that they have insulated the mansion for her, so he offers to go through. The main character asks if they used magic, to which the guy replies that that's not all. After all, she can go inside and like it. A little while later, the main character enters the estate and says that it is so warm there. The guy claims that the temperature there, of course, is not the same as in her homeland, but they tried to provide warmth. After which, the lady smiles, and also thanks the Archduke because he took such care of this, and she will be able to live in comfort. The boy smiles and says that he hopes so. At this time, the servants greet Her Highness the Archduchess. The man claims to be a butler named Gregory, and the woman standing next to him says she is the head maid named Olga. The brunette turns to his wife and claims that these two have been serving the Archduke's family for a long time, so they can be trusted with anything. Irina asks if this is true, and asks to take care of her, to which you are told that if they are needed, then let her call them at any time. At the same moment, someone else cries out to His Highness the Archduke, and then even sees the Archduchess. He greets her in the north, and the main character asks if this is Assistant Vasily, and says that she is glad to meet him. The young man with a smile on his face says that it is such an honor that the lady remembers his name, and thanks to Her Highness, the mansion is now so beautiful and warm. Although he is a northerner, he does not like the cold at all. At this time, the brunette suggests Vasily to stop chatting and say what he wanted. The guy claims that the patrol squad arrived with an urgent report, and the gentleman should now go to the office. The guy then sighs and claims that he wanted to show his wife the mansion in person, but nothing can be done. Irina tells the Archduke that everything is fine and he can go quickly. The guy then turns to Gregory and tells him to take care of the lady while he is busy, and also show her the mansion, to which the man agrees, and also asks the Archdukes to allow him to accompany her. At this time, Irina looks after her husband and understands that she is so touched by his concerns. A little while later, The butler is already finishing the presentation of the mansion. Ari says that the lady has come such a long way, so she is probably tired, and he asks whether to accompany her to the room. Irina answers that yes, and that would be nice. Well, then the main character thinks that if this room is for both of them, the girl also apologizes and asks, "Isn't this a room for newlyweds?" To which the butler replies that he doesn't answer. According to Northern tradition, the lady will live in the guest room for the first time. She can take a break from moving and relax. The main character says that this is how it is, and thinks that it is good. After that dream, she was a little worried that they would sleep in the same bed. Well, the butler says that if the lady is disappointed, then maybe he should talk to His Highness, to which the main character replies that it is not necessary. A little while later, the butler is already showing the lady to her room, and says that they will serve dinner there so that she can rest, and at this point, he declines. The main character thanks him, then she turns to Bella. The lady with red hair claims that despite her fears, people are so friendly, and when the main character takes off her jacket, she immediately falls onto the bed and says that the bed is so soft, so it's wonderful. The maid replies that yes, all their beds were hard, but at that very moment, someone knocks on the door and asks for forgiveness. Bella immediately gets out of bed and heads to the door, after which she opens it. The woman who enters the room thanks her and then greets the Archduchess and claims that she is the younger sister of the Archduke named Nadezhda. Irina says that she is pleased to meet you, and the lady states that she understands that the Archduchess is very tired. Well, she came to say something important. The main character asks what she's talking about, and the woman replies that this is a very important conversation, so she asks if the maid could leave them for a while, to which she agrees. After which he leaves, and the brunette turns to the lady and claims that she heard that Lady Irina never left the Duchy of Sorty. The girl replies that yes, and that is true, and also that although she is better now, she was weak before. The woman claims that she thought that a person like her in the Duchess's place would have to face many difficulties. She took over the duties of her mother, who was the previous Duchess, so she asks how the lady views her continuing to play the role of Archduchess. The woman also thinks that Irina Sorty should try to answer. She wonders if the girl really wants to become an Archduchess, but the main character only smiles, and he asks why the lady is so nice. In fact, she was so worried, because with her condition, she can't work hard yet and she knows little about the local situation. So how good it is that the lady who has led the Archduchy for so long has taken this upon herself. The girl only gets angry about this and wonders if Irina Sorty really became an Archduchess with such a mindset, and how dare she even consider herself part of this family. A little while later, the brunette bursts into some office and asks for forgiveness. The servant turns to the mistress and asks what is going on. The butler wonders if she's really looking for him, since he was just about to go to her. But the woman only turns to Vasily and asks if he should leave them for a minute. After all, she needs to discuss something important with the Archduke. When the servant leaves, the brunette asks his sister what happened, but the girl only turns to her brother and asks what to do since she cannot accept the Archduchess. The guy asks what she means, and his sister replies that she thinks she should express herself more precisely. Irina Sorty has no right to manage this house, but the guy is wondering if she now understands what she wants to say. However, the girl asks if he has ever thought about what it would be like to accept the Duke's daughter as the Archduchess of his house. When she first heard the news of his wedding, she thought it was a marriage of convenience, so that the Sorty family would no longer send spies. But now he spends the entire budget on one person, and Irina doesn't care about their family. And how can she accept her? And isn't he at all ashamed in front of his parents, who have fallen into eternal sleep? But at the same moment, the guy turns to Nadezhda and claims that he sincerely wanted to marry her. The girl screams, "Is it really Irina Sorty?" And the guy replies that now she is Alexieva. Well, the brunette asks if her brother is serious. The guy replies that she is a sweet, kind, and fragile girl. Therefore, let his sister stop seeing her as only the Duke's daughter. And if she does not change her mind, then he will consider this as a rejection of the family. Nadezhda then becomes furious and wonders if he really just put this girl above her, but she values their family more than anyone else. After this, the brunette says that, okay, they will look, but if she was not mistaken, then this girl will never be able to survive in this house. So let the brother keep this in mind. The main character is lying in bed at this time and wondering when the food will be brought, because she is so hungry. At the same moment, the lady smells a pleasant smell and hears someone knocking. Irina asks who is there, and the man standing behind the door addresses her as his wife and claims that it is him. The girl opens the door and asks how this is possible, because he said that he had a lot of things to do, so she thought that they would not see each other today. The guy replies that no matter how much work he has, he will never make her eat alone. That's why he specifically ordered the food to be served there. The main character is surprised and says that's where the smell was coming from. Irina thanks him and claims that she is just hungry, and the guy says that it is great, and then orders the food to be brought in. The maids agree, and the main character of the video thinks that they are the same as the slime brought her. If you think about it first, there was the lilac, and then these dishes, and when she is near the Archduke, she often remembers the slime. The brunette, at this time, tells the maids that he will call if necessary, but for now, let them go out so that his wife can eat in comfort. When the maids leave, the guy tells the lady to sit down, and she thanks him, after which the brunette offers to try the dishes. When the main character tries one of the soups, she thinks how delicious it is. Ruslan asks if she likes it too, which the girl replies that yes, and it's very tasty. The brunette claims that if his wife is happy, then he too, the one-headed heroine, thinks that it is so strange, because she knows that it is impossible. But Ruslan looks very much like a slime. At this point, the guy notices the lady's gaze on him and wonders if he has something on his face. Irina immediately replies that she doesn't, and the guy says that she was just staring so intently. The main character claims that in fact, when she looks at him, she remembers her old friend, and he was a very smart and sweet child. Then only his kindness warmed her, and he is very similar to the Archduke. Ruslan then claims that he is glad that his soul has reached, and also promises to become the best husband for his wife. A little while ago, the slime was crawling through the snow and understood that he needed to protect Irina, and he would save her at any cost. The guy remembered the lady's kind smile, but at the same moment, he felt pain in his wound, after which he finally reached the Archduke's estate, and when he saw the mansion, he felt even more pain and wondered if this was really his end. Slime understood that if he had another chance, he would definitely become stronger and would protect Irina with all his might. Now the brunette opens his eyes and shudders, after which he sighs and realizes that he had this dream again, and he also needs to disappear for a while. A little while later, Bella comes into Irina's room. She apologizes and claims that today, the Duke asked her to check if she was taking poison. Irina says that everything is fine, and let her give the poison when Bella wants to object. The main character claims that she did say that she has nothing to worry about, so let her believe her, after which the main character knocks out the mug with poison. The lady realizes that 4 petals are blooming on her wrist, and that she needs to neutralize them before the demon appears. Archduke Ruslan has left the palace to conduct inspections, and this opportunity must be taken advantage of. The main character turns to Bella and asks if she can call the head butler, to which the girl agrees. A little while later, the man approaches the lady and asks if she called him, and the main character replies that she did and thanks him for coming. The man claims that she does not have to address him so respectfully every time, and the main character smiles and says that she is just not used to it yet. The butler asks the lady to address him as she feels comfortable, to which she agrees, but claims that the point is that she needs his help. The man asks how he can be useful to the lady, and the girl answers that since she is now an archduchess, she should pay tribute to her ancestors. The man is then surprised and wonders if the lady really wants him to take her to the forest, which is a cemetery for her ancestors, to which the girl replies that she does. The butler then asks for forgiveness, but asks if the lady knows what this place is. Irina replies that yes, it is a sacred place for their ancestors. The man says that everything is correct. However, there are a lot of demons there, and the Archduke has not destroyed them all yet, so the lady should not go alone to such dangerous places, and if she wants to pay tribute to her ancestors, then she can do that there too. But the lady replies that this is wrong, and that danger does not relieve her of her duties as an archduchess. It is an order, so let the butler escort her there. The man understands that on the outside, this girl looks very fragile, but inside she is incredibly strong, and of course, His Highness did not fall in love with an ordinary girl, but he cannot accompany her there. After which, the butler asks for forgiveness from Her Highness, but claims that he cannot take her there because it is too dangerous a place, and it is as difficult to enter as it is to exit. To enter it, you need a key, and at the moment, it belongs to Mrs. Nadezhda, who is a blood relative of the Archduke. Irina wonders if he's talking about the key, and she thought it was enough to find the entrance to the forest, but it turned out not to be that simple. Well, then there's no choice, and she'll have to get hold of this key. Irina says that she understands, and then she will talk to the lady herself. The brunette at this time sighs and understands that they even have too little money. Her brother spent too much on exorcising demons and also started repairs, and their budget is completely exhausted. At the same moment, someone knocks on the door of the lady's room and asks if she can come in for a minute, to which the woman replies that she can. And when the maid enters the room, Nadezhda asks what happened. Maria replies that Her Highness wants to meet her, and the brunette understands that she is interested in what the girl needed from her, and does she really want to take care of the household, because that's all she needed. Nadezhda tells the girl to take her to the living room, because she will come now. A little while later, the lady enters the room to the main character and greets her. Highness Irina also wishes her good morning, the brunette, wondering what brought her to her so early. Irina replies that she came to ask her for a favor, and only she can help her with this. The brunette understands that she thought so, and now this lady will most likely ask. But before the girl can finish her thought, the main character asks to help her get into the forest of the undead. The brunette is surprised by this and wonders why the lady is there, and the main character answers that now that she has entered Ruslan's house, she should pay tribute to her ancestors. The brunette wonders why this is happening, and the main character replies that in order to get there, she needs a key that is kept by Lady Nadezhda. The brunette then asks if she really wants to get there and if she knows what kind of place it is. But then the girl smirks and also understands that this is her chance. She claims that on behalf of their family, she wants to thank her, and she is sure that her ancestors will be touched by her actions. Irina claims that there is nothing wrong with that, and it is her duty, so let the lady accept her gratitude. The brunette smiles after that and says that it is not worth it, because later she will be much more grateful to her. A little while later, the brunette is already helping the lady open the gates to this forest, and the main character understands that this is where the forest of the living is located, and it is not for nothing that it is described so gloomy. But now the lady thinks that she feels better, and she seems to be going into the forest of the undead, and her soul is so calm. The brunette then says that she completely forgot, because she still has things to do, and she is also afraid that the lady will have to go alone. The main character just smiles and says that everything is fine, because she can handle it herself, so the lady can go, but the brunette asks if everything will be fine. Irina replies that of course she will be back soon, and the girl wonders where she got such courage from. A little while later, the main character is already walking through the forest and thinks that somewhere there must be an antidote, but she doesn't know the exact location. Well, it's okay, because it's unknown when she might get another chance like this. Now the Duke has left, and Nadezhda would hardly agree to open the gates again. So now it's time to start searching. Thanks to Kalinda's poison, she can merge with the forest Laura, so that the demons should not notice her. And now that the risk is minimal, there is no need to rush. A little while later, the girl sees some interesting fruit and wonders if it has any effect. Then she sees many more interesting plants. A little while later, the lady sighs and also realizes that she has finally collected everything that interested her. The main character takes out a magic bag from Halcyon and thanks him in her thoughts. When the main character goes further through the forest, she thinks how much is there, but she doesn't see the antidote. The lady also understands that she needs to leave before the sun sets, but at the same moment, she notices something else and sees that it is a tree, and it also looks like it is very old. The girl decides to take a closer look and realizes that she didn't know there was such an old tree there. The girl also looks at one of the fruits and understands that she sees something like this for the first time. And as far as she remembers, the antidote is in the golden glowing fruits, so just in case it is worth taking them. But at the same moment, the lady hears another sound and thinks what it is, after which she sees a snake in front of her and is surprised. The snake is about to attack her, and the main character thinks it is a snake or a monster, after which this creature crawls up to the lady, and the main character thinks what will happen now. She needs to run, but her body does not obey at all, And then the girl closes her eyes and also understands that she is finished. Well, when nothing happens, the lady only feels something poking her hand. It turns out to be a snake, and the girl immediately removes her hand and also gets scared and screams for it to go away. The creature immediately crawls back, and the main character wonders if she really understands her. Irina asks if she tried to attack her, but the snake just turns around and crawls somewhere. The girl understands that this snake seems to be calling her to follow it, but she does not understand where it is heading. Irina follows her and wonders if the snake really wants her to look there. When the girl does so, she notices some light and wonders if the tree is really glowing. Then the main character sees the golden fruit and understands that there can be no mistake. It is definitely an antidote, and as far as she knows, with its help, you can not only remove the poison from the body, but also restore strength, so you need to eat it quickly. When the main character does this, the petals on her wrist begin to disappear, and the girl says that finally, now she can become the strongest. But at that very moment, she feels herself beginning to lose consciousness and falls to the floor. A little while later, the lady opens her eyes and clutches her head and wonders if she has really lost consciousness. The lady is looking around and wondering where the snake went and whether it really disappeared, and the tree is no longer glowing. The main character feels a light spreading inside her and wonders if this power is really a divine blessing. If she learns to control it, she will become the strongest in the world, so she should start training as soon as possible. The girl understands that it is time for her to go back before it gets completely dark. Well, when she heads through the forest, she thinks that she is going the wrong way. When she turns a couple more times, then she realizes that she is lost, and the lady wonders if she has turned the wrong way. But the sun has almost set. At that very moment, the lady hears someone approaching her, because it existed breaking a branch. Irina wonders if this is a monster, and understands that it is better for her to stay away. Well, at that very moment, she hears a very familiar sound, and when she turns around, she then realizes that this creature has a round blue body and a scar under its eye, after which she asks if this is really slime. The main character understands that it is definitely him, and that he really was going to Ruslan's estate. The girl at that moment joyfully addresses the slime, but he only screams furiously. Irina wonders why he is angry, and has he really forgotten her? And then the main character says that it was her. Slime just touches her hand, and wonders what the lady is doing alone in such a dangerous place. Irina understands that thank God he remembers her, and claims that she was just looking for something. But then the girl screams where he came from, and didn't she tell him to go to Chaco Forest? After which the girl asks if he even knows how long she was looking for him. Slime then only crosses his arms, and the main character wonders if this means he doesn't want to answer. After which she takes him in her arms and says that it's okay. The main thing is that they met Slime, then waves his hand shyly, and the main characters claim that she missed him, and asks if he missed her too, to which he sadly replies that he missed her too, but it's not time yet. Irina wonders what this means, after which the slime jumps away, and the main character screams where he is, after which she asks to wait and runs after him. Irina, out of breath, thinks why he is running away, and she thought that the slime would be glad to see her. The girl thinks whether he is uncomfortable with her, and when she blinks again, she realizes that she has missed him. The lady thinks where he went, but at that moment, someone turns to the lady. When the girl turns around, she sees that it is the butler. The man says that she has finally come out. Irina wonders if the slime was really leading her to the exit from the forest, and asks the butler if he was really waiting for her, to which he replies that yes, he was worried because she was gone for a long time. He is also glad that everything is fine. The main character apologizes for making him worry, and the man says that Mrs. Nadezhda was also worried. So let the lady quickly come into the house. The main character asks if this is true. After she goes further, she turns to the forest and thinks that she doesn't know why the slime ran away from her, but she is sure that this was not their last meeting. A little while later, the main character is already in the estate, and the maid asks where she was, because all the ladies' clothes are dirty. Irina replies that it is a secret. At the same moment, the Archduke returns to the estate, and the butler greets him. But the guy turns to Gregory and claims that apparently his wife was in the forest of the undead. After this, The butler wants to say something to the gentleman, but the brunette only asks if Nadezhda had the key to the forest. After all, if that's the case, then let him call her into his office, to which the butler agrees, and the main character at this time observes all this from behind the column. A little while later, Nadezhda wonders how her brother knew that this girl went to the forest, and who knew that she spends so much time there. After which the lady finally decides to go into her brother's office and claims that it was her. She also heard him calling her. The guy claims that his wife was in the forest of the undead, and wonders if it was Nadezhda who let her in. The brunette then claims that the Archduchess expressed a desire to go to this forest, so how could she refuse her? While the guy approaches his sister and claims that she knew how dangerous this place was, and still let the girl in. Nadezhda doesn't even know what to answer to this, but at that very moment someone knocks on the door. The main character opens it and apologizes for interrupting their conversation. The guy asks if this is his wife, and the main character asks him not to be too strict with the Archduchess, because she did nothing wrong. The butler warned her that it was dangerous there, but she still insisted on her own, so she apologizes and claims that it was reckless of her. Ruslan then wants to say something else, but the girl at this time turns to Lady Nadezhda and claims that she herself will talk to the Archduke. The brunette only asks why, and in her thoughts adds why the lady is helping her. The main character only looks at her, from which the girl shudders and claims that then she will leave them and also leaves Irina. Sighs after this, but at the same moment the brunette turns to her, and the main character understands that not only did she go to the forbidden forest, but she also interrupted their conversation. So he's probably angry, but the guy then asks why the girl is defending Nadezhda. He's glad his wife is okay, but her walk could have ended worse. The main character understands that he does not look angry at all, and rather the opposite. So the girl asks if he was worried about her, to which the guy replies that, of course, Irina asks why he always cares about her and worries so much. The guy is a little embarrassed by this and says that it is because the lady is a very dear person to him. The girl is only embarrassed by this and wonders what he is saying. People understand that he said it so suddenly. Well, she still understands that it is somehow strange, because she was so desperate to survive that she did not attach any importance to it. However, she does not understand why Archduke Ruslan is so favorable to her, because in the original, there was no such thing. If you think about it, he showed interest in her from the very first meeting, as if he knew her well. The main character then turns to the Duke and asks if they have met before, because it seems she first met him at the victory ceremony, and since then, he has been exceptionally kind to her. And during their second meeting, he suddenly proposed to marry him. The main character asks if it is possible that he already knew her then, but the guy only remains silent in response, and then claims that yes, and they had seen each other before. The girl asks if this is true, but wonders when, and the young man replies that it is a very long story, so he will tell her about it later. Irina notices his face and wants to say something, but the guy claims that it is already quite late. Therefore, to begin the marriage, it is worthwhile to rest. Irina, after this, wants to add something else. However, the guy claims that he is afraid that he still has a lot of things to do, and he will not be able to take the lady to her room, so he wishes her good night. And then he closes the door completely, and the main character understands that she was just kicked out and wonders if she really is his dear person. Irina understands that it means they already met, once she doesn't remember when, because she wouldn't confuse the main character with anyone else. At the same moment, the main character notices someone else near her and asks if it is the Archduchess. She wonders why the lady is still there, and the brunette replies that she has a question for Irina. The main character asks what it is, and she awkwardly says that she doesn't understand why the lady intervened because of her, and she is sure that the lady knew that she sent her into the forest not out of the best intentions. Nadezhda understands that she probably has an ace up her sleeve, and the ladies will take advantage of the opportunity and also demand something. But the main character at this time is only interested in what this lady is. After all, she simply told the Archduke the truth. After all, she opened the gates at her request. And most of all, she did not want them to quarrel because of her. Nadezhda asks if this is true, but the girl is interested in whether something else is needed. Order does not understand whether the lady really intervened only for this reason. She also understands that in her youth, there were those who helped her, when she suddenly found herself at the head of the family and those who owe her a lot. Loyal supporters of the Archduke's family, and there were also idiots who demanded payment here and now. The lady thought that this girl would also ask for payment, but this girl from the Sorty family is just like that, so she can't believe it. Irina at this time sighs and claims that she knows how much a lady values her family, and also understands that she doesn't like it because their families don't really get along. But now that she has become a part of this house as an archduchess, she will do everything possible for this family, and let Lady Nadezhda also believe and protect the family. The brunette then shakes the lady's hand and says that they will live and see Irina, then says that she will go, then and leaves, and Nadezhda, left alone, understands that no one has acknowledged her for a long time, and also whether she misunderstood the girl. But at that moment, the lady understands that she needs to wake up because this girl is still from the Sorty family, so she can't relax. In any case, she will need to find out more about her. A little while later, the blonde looks at the documents and asks if there really were two requests from the North, one from their Iranushka, who asks to sell the herbs at a higher price, and the guy thinks how boring it is. And the second one is from Mrs. Nadezhda. There the girl asks to find out as much as possible about Archduchess Irina and make a report. The guy understands that if we are talking about the Sorty family, then he has already conducted an investigation, so all he has to do is sort out the information about Irina. He had suspected something was wrong ever since the lady had asked him to keep an eye on her father, but he had never thought that she had grown up in such an environment. To think that beneath the guise of a sensible man like the Duke of Sorty, there was a fanatic who abused children and using devilish tricks. That's why the blonde thinks what a nasty guy he is. He doesn't know what goals this man is pursuing, but he has a bad feeling. A little while later, the servants in the estate are all hurrying somewhere. The main character watching this asks Bella if I'm imagining it, and that it's somehow noisy in your mansion, to which the girl replies that there is such a thing, and Irina wonders if they are really preparing for the reception. Her interlocutor replies that it would be great, and yet he turns to Irina and also asks if everything will be fine if she does not take the poison. For some time she can hide it from the Duke, but sooner or later he will notice it. Irina, well after that, says that everything is fine, and that Bella shouldn't worry because everything will be fine, and that she should just believe her and not worry about anything. After which the lady with red hair agrees and says that now the lady is the Archduchess of her, and what can the Duke do to her? Irina understands that now that she drank the poison and gained divine powers, she can stop taking it. But suddenly the girl starts coughing, and Bella turns to her in shock, and also claims that lately she has been coughing up red liquid a lot. And is it really all because of the poison? The main character replies that everything is fine, but the maid screams asking what she is talking about, and also asks to wait a little because she will bring the medicine right now. Irina then understands that she said that everything was fine, and understands that everything has already passed. After the poison was removed, she began to suffer from a cough, and she hopes that it will go away on its own. Well, what's more important is that she never learned to control this power. A little while later, Bella hands the girl some medicine, and the main character thanks her. The lady with red hair asks if the lady really doesn't want to go to the doctor, to which she replies that yes, and that nothing hurts anymore. The girl also thinks about how Ruslan used that power in the original, since it wasn't described in the book. Bella, at this time, remembers something else, and claims that while she went for medicine, she found out that today. But at the same moment, someone knocks on the room and says, "Madam, that this Olga," after which the main character tells her to come in. The maid immediately wishes the lady a good day, and the main character also greets her and asks if something has happened. The woman replies that the newlyweds' room is ready, and they have come to help her with preparations for the first wedding night. Irina, puzzled, asks what she said, but the woman only turns to the other maids and asks what they are worth, since the search is about to begin work, to which they agree. They approach the mistress and tell her to rely on them, but the main character tells them to wait a minute and wonders why everything is happening so suddenly. Of course it was all logical, but in this reality, for some reason, Archduke Ruslan liked her. On the day of their wedding, he even said that he would fulfill his marital duties, and the novel was marked for adults, so she admits that she is even interested in how good it will be, one of the maids tells the mistress that everything is ready. And when the girl looks in the mirror, she understands that in the end, the Archduke will stay with the main character, and everything will be okay if they become closer. A little while later, the brunette is already standing under the room and understands that this moment has finally come, after which he knocks on the room and tells his wife that it is him. The main character tells him to come in, and the guy tells his wife that today. But when he sees a girl who asks if he has arrived, he is speechless. The guy then approaches her, and the main character asks what is going on. The young man claims that she looks great, and Irina thanks him, and also claims that he also looks great, and that this hairstyle suits him very well. Well, the guy after that just approaches his wife and asks if she minds if he comes closer, and agrees to something. After that, he kisses her neck, and when the lady shudders a little, he asks if she really doesn't like it. Irina answers that no, and that she is simply ticklish, after which the lady continues to peer into his beautiful blue eyes. And she realizes that they seem so familiar to her. The guy only kisses the lady's hand and then gets closer to her face. But when he is already a couple of centimeters from her lips, the main character starts coughing and screams for him to wait. The lady starts coughing up red liquid. Well, then she suddenly realizes what she was coughing for in front of the Archduke, and she needs to think of something. The girl immediately turns to him and wants to say something, but the guy only extends his shaking hand to her, and wiping her face, he asks why she still has red liquid, because it shouldn't hurt. Irina at this time thinks that his hands are shaking. And is it really possible that the man who destroyed all the monsters in the Empire was scared of the red liquid? Irina tells the Archduke that she is fine, but the guy immediately hugs her, and the main character asks what is going on, after which the young man suggests that she stay like this for a little while. When the lady hugs him back and closes her eyes, she understands that she is warm just like that day. A little while later, the lady says again that she is fine, and there is nothing serious about it. But the guy just wraps her in a blanket and then lays her down next to him, and also says that the lady must be very tired today, so he suggests that they rest better and they will wash the sheet later, to which the lady agrees. But she thinks why now? And it's all because of Duke's sortie. Well, if you think about it, then this guy is the first person who stayed by her side in difficult times. The ladies turn to the Archduke, but say that he never told them when they met, to which the guy replies that she should rest now because he will tell her about it a little later. Irina asks if he promises to, which he replies that he does. And the girl says that she will wait impatiently, but let him just not forget, otherwise her own curiosity will eat her up. The guy then claims that he will definitely tell. The next morning, the main character opens her eyes and realizes that she fell asleep there yesterday, and the Archduke was next to her. But when the girl looks at the place next to her, she sees slimes and wonders if this is a dream. But at that moment, she realizes that this is not a dream, and in shock, he stretches out his hand to the slime, after which he realizes that it is soft, and the creature at this time opens its eyes and also looks at the lady. The main character is shocked and asks if it is really him, and also wonders why he is there. Slime at this time comes out of sleep, after which he touches himself and realizes that he is now in the form of slime, and also screams. The main character wonders when he arrived, and she hopes that this Duke did not see him, after which the slime shakes his head, and the girl understands that it means he left early, and they were very lucky. Irina, at the same moment, asks why he came there. And doesn't he know how dangerous it is there? Because it is the mansion of Archduke Ruslan himself. Put some slime into eternal sleep, it costs him nothing. After that, the slime only makes sounds, and the main character wonders if he really wants to say something. The creature claims that Ruslan is not creepy but good, and the girl says that he really turned out to be better than she imagined and treated her well. Well, she asks how he would know, and has he really already met him? Slime then just turns away, and the girl wonders if he really doesn't want to talk again. Well, she still wonders how Slime knows Ruslan, and if the Archduke has been taking care of him all this time. The lady understands that this can't be, and it doesn't look like a person who put all the monsters into eternal sleep. Well, the girl still says that she is glad, and it's good that they met before her divorce. Slime then asks what she is talking about, and the lady claims that it is Archduke Ruslan, must be with the main character, and before that moment, she will divorce him and take the slime with her. But the baby only screams after that. The main character asks why he then shows that there will be no divorce. And the girl asks why he is against it, to which he answers that it doesn't matter. The lady wonders if the slime has entered puberty, and it seems that he has become much more capricious than before. At the same moment, someone knocks on Irina's door and asks if she is awake, because it is already time for breakfast. But the main character tells her to wait a minute. The girl hides the slime under the bed and tells him to sit there, and also he is not allowed to get out of there. At this time, Bella once again turns to Irina. This states that she is already on her way, after which she opens the door and also tells the girl to come in. The lady of red hair wonders if the Archduke is really there, because she definitely heard the lady talking to someone, and the girl replies that this can't be, and maybe she misheard. Bella asks if she really thinks so, and the main character replies that she does. When she is about to go to breakfast, she turns to the bed and realizes that she has, of course, hidden it, but she thinks that everything will be okay. A little while later, the brunette stands at the door and thinks about how, a little while ago, she was shocked and asked if the Archduchess had been abused in the sortie house. The girl thought that this was not a report of a story full of suffering and pain, and she had heard that this lady was the precious daughter of the Duke of Sortie. But was it all a lie? After which, the brunette asked if all this was true, to which the guy replied that of course. But the girl asked why the Duke treated his daughter so cruelly, to which the guy replied that most likely he wanted to use her for selfish purposes. However, it seems that the Archduchess has resisted his will, and perhaps that is why she tied the knot with their family. And this also explains her recent reckless act of going into the forest of the undead Bratka. Wonders if this is how Irina tried to escape from the Duke. After all, she mistook her for a puppet, and this is her mistake, so she should apologize to the Archduchess. Now the brunette is standing at her door and understands that this is why she came there, but she is thinking what to say to her. At that moment, someone turns to her from behind and says, "What kind of meeting is this?" It turns out to be the main character, and the brunette turns to her, after which the girl asks what brought her there, and does Lady Nadezhda really want to say something? The woman then begins to say the word forgive. But at that very moment, she turns around and claims that she was just passing by, and the main character wonders if she wasn't just standing in front of the door. Someone else says that she probably wanted to apologize. When Irina turns around to this person, she realizes that it is Halcyon. The blonde guy greets her at this time and says that they haven't seen each other for a long time. Irina asks why he is there, and the guy asks why not, and the girl tells him to come in quickly. After which, she keeps pushing him into the office. The guy says that she has more than enough strength, and the main character screams that if someone saw him, but the young man only hands her a bag and claims that he sold her herbs at a higher price. Irina asks if everything has already been sold, to which the guy replies that of course. After all, he is a qualified master of the Information Guild. He also asks where the lady found such valuable herbs, and the girl replies that it is a secret. The young man at this time takes out another paper and claims that it is a report on the activities of Duke Sortie. Irina thanks him, but the guy says that he doesn't look like a madman, and now the Duke is hunting for demonic items, and he is also interested in the book of the Archdemon. The girl in shock asks what he said, and understands that in the original, her father started looking for her later. The young man claims that he does not know why he needed her, but he does not like it. Irina then asks Halcyon if she can ask for something, after which she claims that she knows where to find a fake golem heart and wonders if he can get it and sell it to the Duke. Irina understands that in the original, he used exactly this to summon the Archdemon, but if she replaces this heart, she will be able to weaken the power of the Archdemon. The guy then thinks a little, but still says with a smile on his face that it is good, and the post lady to trust him. Irina thanks him, and the guy claims that he is glad that this is all between them. The girl in response to this only smiles awkwardly, after which the blonde once again turns to her and approaches the lady. He wonders how her married life is, because he was very upset when he found out that the lady was getting married. But at the same moment, the guy gets hit in the face by a slime. The main character is shocked after this and asks if it is really a slime. The girl also asks Halcyon if everything is okay with him, and the blonde replies that not really, and this slime seems small, but has more than enough strength. The girl then turns to the slime, and they scream, "Is it possible to attack people so suddenly?" But he only screams in response. Halcyon claims that he is fine, so asks them not to quarrel, and he just feels strange. The guy looks at this with Lime and understands that this is what Irina told him about, and this is the first time he sees a reasonable Saim. So it is interesting. Well, when the slime notices that the blonde is looking at him, he looks back furiously, and the guy realizes that it looks like he doesn't like him. The guy turns to the main character and asks if she asked him to find him, and it looks like his help is no longer needed. The girl replies that yes, and they met recently, and the guy claims that he is glad that the lady found her precious friend. The main character smiles and thanks him for helping her find her. But at that moment, the slime makes a sound again, and the blonde gets scared. After that, he gets up from his chair and says that he'll probably go. Irina asks if he is already leaving, and the guy replies that he gave her everything he wanted. And besides, if he stays even for a minute, he will become the first person to fall into eternal sleep from slime. As he leaves, the blonde wishes the lady good luck and claims that he will contact her again, and the main character thanks him and wishes him good luck too. Slime at this time looks at him furiously, as if saying that this guy should not come again. And when he closes the door, the main character, she exchanges glances with the slime. She asks how the slime could do this to her, an innocent person, and how lucky it was that it was Halcyon. What if it was someone from the estate? The kid claims that he is not talking about divorce and change, and the main character asks what he is talking about, and also asks if he is behaving like this because of Halcyon, because if so, then this guy is just her friend, but the slime then turns to Irina and tells her not to leave him alone. The girl is a little surprised by this, and then takes him in her arms, and asks the slime if she can leave without him, because they will always be together. He asks if it is true, and the girl answers that, of course, after which the baby says that she should not even think of lying to him, because if Irina leaves him, then he will find this fool and destroy him with his own hands. The girl is surprised by this and wonders if he is really so worried about their long separation. At this time, the slime tells the girl that it is strange, because energy comes from her hands, and the girl claims that it is divine power. She also asks if the slime remembers that she used to take poison and recently managed to get rid of it as well as get this power. But the girl puts her hand to her lips and claims that it is a secret because it originally belonged to the main character. The slime then sparkles and wonders if she stole it from Ruslan, and also says how smart she is. The girl then says that she really doesn't know how to control it yet, and she'll have to ask the priest about it. But when the slime turns away, the main character asks what happened, and he answers that nothing. At this time, someone is heading through the temple, and when the girl hears someone screaming that they have refused to take the priests out for the umpteenth time, and also asking why His Excellency suddenly began to avoid the temple, the lady stops. After which she even informs His Holiness that it is Kay, and the man is surprised. After which he asks if she is really there, to which the girl replies that yes, she arrived today to observe the training. She also asks if something is wrong, and His Holiness states that Archduke Ruslan has refused to visit them again. Another man cries out that this is disrespectful to the temple, and they should make their protest through the emperor. His Holiness claims that he does not understand why he suddenly began to avoid the temple, and he had to baptize a new dispersal. Kay asks if the high priest has already met the Archduke, to which he replies that yes, and he was quite frightening. The girl then asks what kind of person Irina Sordi is. The man asks if she is talking about the Archduchess, to which the lady replies that she is. And he claims that he has not yet met her personally, but he heard that the two of them have a very good relationship. Kay realizes that this is strange, because they were not supposed to be together, and this is different from the future she knows. It seems that Archduke Ruslan is blocking the priest's access, and she will have to get to Irina Sordi herself. Slime at this time turns to the lady and asks what she is doing on the balcony, because it is cold there. Irina claims that she simply cannot sleep, because the Archduke was gone all day, and she is worried. Slime shudders from this, and then asks what if he is busy now, and the lady answers that it is possible, after which the slime asks if she will really wait for Ruslan too, which the girl replies that she will, and he asks why. The main character replies that, because if he suddenly returns, she will see him, But then the girl realizes that this is not so, and claims that, in fact, he just left without even saying anything to her, which is a little offensive. The girl also asks what to do since he will be with the main character, but she has already become so attached to him. After this, the slime tells the girl not to worry, because the Archduke will not be with the main character, and Irina asks why, to which the slime replies that Archduke Ruslan loves her very much. Irina looks at him a little surprised, and wonders if the slime is trying to console her now. The lady also smiles and thanks him, and also claims that she always knew that he is her only friend. The girl pulls his cheeks, and the slime asks her to stop. Irina apologizes, but says that he is so cute, to which he replies that it is not true because he is cool. The girl then turns to the cool slime and claims that it seems that the Archduke will not be returning today, so maybe they can sleep together, which makes him happy and immediately jumps to the bed. When the main character lies down next to him, she wishes him good night and falls asleep next to him, and also thinks that when the Archduke returns, she will need to tell him about the slime, because if he is so kind to her, he should accept the slime. A little while later, the main character realizes that it is so dark there, but she feels like someone is hugging her, and the girl thinks that the slime has covered her with something. However, when the girl opens her eyes, he sees the Archduke's in front of him, and in shock he thinks why he is there. And besides, why is he not wearing clothes? After which the guy opens his eyes, the main character thinks, did she wake him up, and decides to pretend to be asleep. The guy then turns to his wife, but the lady pretends that she is sleeping. The young man immediately kisses her forehead and wishes her sweet dreams, after which the world will be superimposed again. And the main character understands that this is just a dream, and now she can sleep again. The next morning, the girl opens her eyes and then asks the slime why he is making so much noise early in the morning. Well, when she looks in the direction where the sound is coming from, then she understands that it is the Archduke. The girl looks at him and wonders why the guy is getting dressed there, and also asks when he returned, to which he replies that he just now. The main character says that it is clear, after which she suddenly wonders where the slime went then. When the girl looks around the room, she realizes that he is nowhere to be found. Well, they were together just yesterday, so where did he go? At this time, the brunette turns to his wife and asks if something has happened, and the girl wonders if the slime ran away because of the Archduke's return. Well, if not, then the reason for his disappearance is the Archduke himself, and the girl approaches him, after which the guy asks what happened. Irina asks if he has seen a slime there by any chance, and the guy shudders after that. And then he looks away completely, but the lady asks for forgiveness for having brought him without asking. However, she claims that this slime is her precious friend, and she just wants to make sure, just in case. After which the lady imagines the worst possible outcome and swallows, and with tears in his eyes, he asks if he really put him into eternal sleep. The guy is surprised by this, and then answers that, of course not. The girl then asks if he knows where the slime went, to which the guy is about to answer something. Well, then he stops and clenches his fists and sighs. Having collected his thoughts, he turns to Irina, and having decided to confess everything, he claims that he is her slime.